All right.
Okay, ready?
Three,
3, 2,
two,
1.
one.
Let's go.
And let's get right into it. What up? This
What's up, man?
is this is the kind of week that
Mm.
we've been wanting all 2020 long. This is a week we thought we were going to get with D23. We thought we were going to get with SDC at home. We thought we were going to get with NYCC at home. We
Oh God.
thought we were going to get the atomic bomb of pop culture news and notes. It waited until December 10th, 2020 for Bob Iger and the House of the Mouse to just drop a nuclear bomb on pop culture. And we're going to get to it in just a second. We got to do some little introductions.
Oh
Man over
God.
there. By the way, if you're here looking for Return of the Jedi, you're going to need to hit fast forward and go to next week because we're not doing Star Wars. We're taking a TL
Not
right
yet.
now.
Yes, we are.
You're
Yes, we
putting a
are.
pause. We have got some Star Wars news
Oh,
coming up, bro. Stuff that will melt your damn mind. Over there, you know him as the Darth Lord, the Sith Lord, the Dark King, J.R. Cabacungan. Right
how's up?
now,
How's you doing, guys? How's
also
everyone
not.
doing tonight?
Yeah,
Also, not
I'm
Jared
doing.
Comics.
Yeah, also not J.R. Comics 42.
How you doing,
E-
man? How you doing?
eBay listings coming soon.
I always been
Uh,
there.
bro, what you're about to find out, you may want to clear out them long boxes because we have got some money to be made for comic book collectors because bro, there are some books that are just going to fly off the
Dude,
shelf. We knew they were
dude.
hot tickets before.
Yep.
Dude, they are mint right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're gonna want to sign up for some CGC pretty soon.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
Kevin Pill, the voice of reason, at voice of reason 23
Yes,
on
he
all
is.
social media platforms.
Yes, he is, man.
At PS Comics I Love You on Facebook. At PS
Yep.
Comics I Love You on Instagram.
Instagram.
At PS Comics I Love You
You, letter
on
U.
Twitter.
Twitter.
Remember, we're still looking for them 100 followers, and
Yep, yes.
we're gonna unload some books
Yep.
on you, bro. Let's get right into it. Someone
Oh
done
man.
pissed off the mouse. So like,
So guys, if you have no, you
freaking
guys have no
Warner
freaking clue what we're talking
Brothers,
about.
you done pissed us off.
If you guys have no clue what we're talking about right now, specifically if you're just a casual fan, casual listener per se, thank you very much for just listening to us, guys, every single week, man. So yeah, something happened over the weekend. You know how we've had in the last couple of months, like Kevin said before in an intro, some Comic Cons at home type of stuff. Yeah, Disney said, "Hey, hold my ears. I could
Hold
do
my
better than
ears,
y'all.
pretty
Hold my
much.
ears." And so they had a investor conference or like investor con type
Investors
of thing.
Day, for those of
Yeah.
you in lay terms, is
Yeah.
an opportunity for a corporation to lay forth what their battle plan is for the upcoming business cycle.
Yep.
Uh, December for a lot of corporations is um, it's a make or break for the upcoming fiscal year. The calendar year for companies will end in at the end of this month, but at the same time, their fiscal year ended I think back in
Yep.
September, but their calendar year, which is where they start to lay the groundwork out for what they want to accomplish, is January 1. And
Yep.
what Disney did was they put forth an investor day for an opportunity for people right now. This is why we want you to invest in Disney. We know that
Oh
Disney Plus
gosh.
is their bread and butter. There was really little to no mention of the theme park side, which we know has taken an absolute brutal hit over the
Hmm.
last 9 months with
Yeah.
the COVID-19 outbreak. But we do know that parks like Disney World are reopened. Other parks
Yep.
internationally are open on a limited basis. Disneyland here in California still closed for the foreseeable future, but that
Yep.
doesn't mean the House of Mouse can't put out some freaking content. And
Good
buddy, did
God.
they ever? We've
Oh
got stuff from all levels of
yeah.
entertainment from Disney. And bro, let's start right at the
I
beginning.
I
They are
yeah.
addressing the elephant in the room,
Uh-huh.
Hulu. Disney, for those you don't know, technically has two streaming platforms
Yep.
here in the United States. They have Disney Plus, their main bread and butter right here, but
Mm-hmm.
they also were partners with a lot of other major studios in Hulu, which has been around for what, about 12, 15 years maybe.
Just about now, yeah. Just about.
And when they purchased 20th Century Fox, about a year and a half ago, they
Mhm.
became the primary owner of Hulu, and so they're like, well, if it's one of our properties, let's put some money into it. And
Yeah, man.
bro,
And
they got some announcements to be made
oh
about
yeah,
Hulu.
they do. Just before, just preface this, guys, like the amount of stuff that just like maybe two or three of these things that Disney has dropped is just enough for a full on event, right?
Yeah,
Literally about three or four of these announcements that they have is good enough for a one full event. Like you could fill out a Hall H and then that's your event. That's it. And but they announced like 61 things this day, dude.
this is
And
JR's notes right here. This is
if you
JR's notes right here for one podcast,
six
and we're on
pages
the
of full
first page, and
notes.
we're talking about Hulu, bro.
Yeah, and so Hulu stuff, right? It's gonna be more so. I'm pretty sure everyone knows what Hulu is. It's a streaming service where there's more so in the TV show section, and they have their own specified series and all that stuff. So one of the things coming up right now is actually comedy stuff. The Only Murders in the Building, which is gonna feature Selena Gomez, Steve Martin, and Martin Short. It's a comedy series, pretty cool, pretty good little catch right there. Another one called The Dropout by McKinnon, yeah, by SNL. She's from SNL, and she's actually she's starring in The Dropout, which features the for if you Kevin, do you know who Elizabeth Holmes is?
I don't know. I was trying to I
Trying
was
to research her?
what's that?
You were trying to research her a little bit
I
earlier?
was, well, the name sounded familiar, and
Dude,
it just didn't jog my brain.
I mean, I'm like, okay, so Elizabeth Holmes, for those who didn't know, I actually did some research. I remember her too, specifically because she was she's the woman that kind of that kind of took over a little bit Silicon Valley, and she was basically wanted to be looked as the woman, the Steve Jobs, but as a woman, right? Everything from her style, her walk, how she presents herself, right? And she was trying to sell this type of medical equipment that can instantly check your blood temperature, that can instantly check your blood if you need insulin or not, right? That's
Mhm.
crazy bleeding tech. She's actually conned billions of dollars from it, right? And so now it's being turned into, I think, a TV series for just specifically for Hulu. And Kate McKinnon, who has historically played uh what's her name? Oh man, I forgot her name because I don't really care
It
about.
was Kate McKinnon. Doesn't she play Justin Bieber on SNL? Isn't
Yeah,
that
she does,
her?
but also yeah, her, and she also plays what's her name, dude? I I'm trying to make
Well,
a joke.
well,
I'm
she
really
was
trying to make
also
a
in
joke.
She was also in Ghostbusters.
She was Ghostbusters, but she played mainly who Trump beat in 2016.
Oh, she played Hillary.
Yeah, she was Hillary.
Oh, you're right. That is
Yeah,
her.
she's
Okay,
Hillary,
okay.
dude. She played Hillary.
Good Hillary too.
Yeah,
She
great
plays a good
Hillary.
Hillary.
Yeah, so
Um,
that's gonna be one of them. Go ahead, take this
yeah,
next one,
you know
dude.
what? And I did look it up. Elizabeth Holmes. I could totally see Kate McKinnon pulling this off. So it'll be interesting.
Yep.
Like I said, Hulu has become kind of the Miramax, or not the Miramax, the I can't remember yeah, I guess kind of the Miramax property
Yeah.
for Disney.
Yeah.
It's kind of where they kind of put we don't want that on Disney Plus. Let's put it over there.
Yeah. A little too
Um,
adult.
yeah, so it's where they put some of their first run TV stuff on. So,
Hmm.
like for example, my wife and I are streaming, which actually is on Fox, but we're streaming Last Man Standing, which at one
Ooh.
point was on ABC, a Disney
Okay.
property, um, and was produced by Fox and put on ABC. But ABC canceled it a couple of years ago. Fox picked it up, and now we're streaming it on Hulu. So you get an opportunity for stuff like for ABC, stuff like the Goldbergs, stuff like Blackish.
Mm.
At the time, Agents of Shield, Agent
Yeah.
Carter, those kind of shows would air on, say, a Monday night, and then by
Yep.
Tuesday they were on Hulu. Kind of like what the early goings of like on-demand VOD kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, but now Hulu's getting into original content. They got a little bit of that. They got a little bit of that Dean money
Disney
coming
money.
in. So,
I mean, come on now.
let's see. Alien, I'm
Alien.
guessing, is based
Mhm.
on the famous franchise.
Yes, sir.
It'll be the first TV series in the franchise. It will be set on Earth. Interesting.
Yeah, man.
Noah Hawley is the showrunner, and his previous work is on Legion. Couldn't
Great
quite
freaking
get into
show.
Legion. Couldn't quite get
Really?
into Legion. But
Yeah.
I will say that if Noah worked on Legion and the trippiness, the kind of weird
Oh.
quirkiness of Legion,
Yeah.
it's gonna work on the Alien franchise.
Yeah, it's gonna be great, dude. I can't that like really my ears perked up definitely when I heard that Noah was doing it, like, because I love the first season of Legion. I just can't I didn't have any time to get in the second season, and so I just loved the very first season of Legion, and it was so really out there and so before its time, right? Even though it came out like 3-4 years ago.
I
So
tried to get into it because I knew that initially they were trying to do um what Marvel was doing with Agents of Shield and Agent Carter in trying to
yeah,
do TV shows, but that were loosely based in the
on the comics.
greater cinematic
Yeah.
universe. And it never caught on. And I think that's when X-Men was kind of fledgling and they were going a different direction post Days of Future Past and Apocalypse. And then you had Deadpool and you had Logan, and there was so much timelines that they're like, well, let's not convolute it. It's good. Critics liked it. The hardcore fans were getting in the Legion, and they're like, well, let's just see how it does. And it did okay for a couple of years.
I will say if Dan Stevens does come back to be I forgot it. Yeah, if Dan Stevens comes back to be Legion, David Haller, dude, it's gonna in a current run X-Men movie, that'll be, dude, he's one of the strongest freaking X-Men ever, dudes. But yeah, he ever since he did that, it was great. So it was good. You
Based
want to take the
on
next one?
based on adaptations, and you probably know more about this, but I'll get a Kickstarter for us. The last, but certainly not least, on the Hulu platform, Why the Last Man, based off the Vertical comic series of the same name. Initial filming will start in early 2021. Don't sleep on 2021. We just a couple of weeks away from a new year. Cannot believe it. I thought about we were ushering in the new year, and then it all went downhill from there after Kobe died.
Oh yeah. No, please don't bring it up. But anyways, but for those who don't know, for those that know, this is actually a very this is a one of the a very critically acclaimed book where it was literally all the men on Earth died except for one guy. All the male, like everyone that had a Y chromosome on Earth, whatever species there, died except for one man and his monkey.
Man and his monkey.
Yeah, basically, right? And his chimp, his yeah, I guess, yeah, his monkey. And so he has a pet monkey. Yeah, and so I can't say more than that, because if I do, it'll spoil the whole thing.
No, you got me there. That looks like it could be a lot of fun. You guys don't understand. People that are coming back to comic books, that on the outside looking in and go like, okay, what's happening in comics? I get asked all the time, like, Kevin, what do you collect? And I tell them I collect Gwenpool, I collect Captain America and stuff like that. And they'll go like, okay, Cap, the Avengers, Deadpool, blah blah blah. I know those characters, but what's Gwenpool? I explain to them what Gwenpool. I know it's a Marvel character, but then you get into books like The Walking Dead, Saga, was it No Country? No, what's it called? God Country.
God Country. Yeah.
God Country. Faithless. Lola. Books that aren't necessarily superhero driven. Like people for years, we saw in the early 20s, I'm sorry, not the 20s, the early 40s and the 50s, we saw non-superhero comics kind of take over Marvel and DC, and they didn't do very well. And that's, of course, when Stan Lee came in, and we've heard the story almost a billion times. He said, he says, I'm going to create one story and see if it succeeds. And he thus created the Fantastic Four.
Sure.
That there's
more news come on that.
A little foreshadowing, and then to create Spider-Man. But some of the independent books have gone back and have done that. We don't need superheroes. Let's tell different stories. Mm-hmm. And Why the Last Man? It's not a superhero, and it's so funny. To this day, people still don't know that The Walking Dead was originally a monthly print comic book. I actually, up until just a couple of years ago, didn't know that that Walking Dead. I knew Walking Dead was a comic book because my brother collected it, but he collected the trade paperbacks, which were a collection, I believe, of 15 issues. It was basically, was it 5? Okay,
5.
The thin ones. So it was about 5 issues.
Yep.
Then of course I thought about getting the omnibus, which was the one that was right above that had like, I think it had like about a year's worth of books in it.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that they were single run issues, and until I think I started collecting comics at Asylum, which was about 4 years ago. But yeah, Why the Last Man? Never heard of it, but it does intrigue me based on what JR was talking about. But that kind of leads into our next section, where we're going to go bam right into the House of Mouse, right into some D plus over here, and get into a mixture of. We're going to get into a mixture here of Lucasfilm, Disney animation, maybe a little Pixar. I think, I'm not 100% sure. But let's get into something that was kind of ripped from those old comic books, those old radio serials, and that was one of the greatest cinematic characters ever created. Of course, we're talking about Henry Jones Jr. the second, aka Indiana Jones. His fifth and final movie will come to theaters in the summer of 2022. It will feature Harrison Ford.
Yeah, I will say supposedly it's definitely going to be Harrison Ford's last film as Indy.
Well, Kathleen Kennedy, who is the president of Lucasfilms, and Indiana Jones is technically a Lucasfilm property.
Yeah.
So Kathleen made it sound like this was the last movie in the franchise. There is rumors that they were going to readopt the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, which was a series that aired in the early 90s, was actually a very underrated show. I actually kind of enjoyed it. It was a show that was meant for, I believe, River Phoenix.
That's right.
And before he passed away, of course, people don't know River Phoenix, the brother of
Joaquin
Phoenix. River Phoenix, massive young movie star, died of a drug overdose in the 80s, and he played young Indiana Jones in the Last Crusade, and was fantastic. And people thought, we could build a franchise around this kid, and they created the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, and that it did okay, but never got.
I would probably suggest that this was also the fact that, one, it's not Harrison Ford, and people were expecting Harrison Ford, and two, like, it was very much a young, like, no one wanted not that many people wanted young Indiana Jones per se. And just to give kind of any type of reference to who River Phoenix was, the best comparison I would have him for today would probably be Timothy Chalamet. Like, it was that type of prestige type of
he was
thing,
so
man.
good.
He was really freaking good, man. He was, if it wasn't for, like, ageism back in the 80s, I'm pretty sure he would have won an Academy. I'm pretty sure he would have won some type of award back then. But then they didn't give it to him because he's a young guy.
Stand By Me is one of the best. Is it Stand By Me or Lean on Me?
Stand By Me. That's Timothy Chalamet. But then, like, I'm telling you, man, if River Phoenix, dude, if he was that ageism type of thing back in the 80s,
that's gonna bug me now.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna. It should be Stand By Me. But yeah, just check it out. Try to find it. But yeah, that I'm happy. But going back into our point of Indiana Jones 5 is gonna be, my ears really perked up when it's gonna be directed by
Stand By Me.
Stand By Me.
Yeah,
James Mangold, who did Logan back in 2015. Yeah, 2015. He's gonna be directing it, and the film sets release in 2022, guys. So it's definitely Harrison Ford's last film as Indiana Jones, because Harrison Ford, I got love for him, man. If he was definitely one of the guys I will put back in the time chamber to get young Indy, or to get young Harrison back, but that might be his last time as Indy, which is good.
And of course, James Mangold also did The Wolverine, which is a completely underrated movie from the X-Men franchise. That's where he kind of got his notoriety. Did Logan, nominated for an Academy Award, won an Academy Award doing Ford versus Ferrari. People don't realize that's James Mangold.
That's right.
So this is fantastic. It's funny, when I mentioned Indiana Jones 5 to JR earlier this week, when this news broke, I mentioned it to James Mangold, and it went in one ear and out the other. He had no idea who I was talking about. And then he's like, and then I said, it's the guy from Logan. And he went, oh yeah. And it was like, you kind of like, it was like, you just kind of brain farted. Like, it was just like, dude, but you were in such a haze, because you were just like, you were looking at the other Marvel stuff, and you're like, bro.
I was.
He was flipping through his long boxes going like, money.
That's basically it.
Speaking of the 80s.
Speaking of the 80s, guys, I'll say this one. Willow is coming back. It's becoming a Disney Plus series. It's gonna be a Disney Plus series, and it's gonna having Warwick Davis reprise his role back on Willow, and he's gonna be having a new adventure. So for those who don't know, Willow is I forget when exactly in the 80s it was, like 82, 83.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I'm trying to remember because I remember I was a little kid, and for those who don't know, I get asked all the time, is your last name really Pillow? 1988. And I said, yeah, it is. And I used to be called Kevin Pillow Willow. I was 7 in 1988 when that movie came out, and I was so 7. I'm about the same age as my son, so first grade. And it was still a big movie. That was huge. They didn't do movies like this, at least at the level of
like
as they do now. I mean, Willow would be lost in a sea of similar genre films, but Willow from Lucasfilms was just another spoke in the wheel that would come out every so often from George Lucas. And I believe obviously this came after Return of the Jedi.
Yep.
By almost like what, 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
Indy, I believe, had already started, but that was more of a Steven Spielberg kind of deal. But Willow was kind of floated under the radar. Warwick Davis, really kind of brought that little people movement to the big screen. He played so many great roles. He's also Wicked. I'm sorry, I'm not Wicked. Oh, God dang it! Now I'm gonna have to look it up.
Oh, you talk about
the Ewok he plays.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
God dang it, he's gonna bug me because it was my brother's. It was my brother's favorite Ewok. But we don't know yet if we haven't heard yet if Val Kilmer will be returning to the movie.
I was gonna ask that too. I do know. I did see that's gonna have new characters in it too. But it's the same Willow. Has gonna have the same event. He's gonna have it, but on an older Willow, but different adventure. So there has yet to be
Wicked is the name of the Ewok that he plays. He also is in. He's also known in the Harry Potter.
That's right.
As Grip Hook.
That's right. That's right. That's gonna be set to release. Actually, we don't know when that's gonna be set to release. All we do know is that it has been announced, and it's gonna have Warwick Davis as Willow. As Willow. It's also gonna be starring Ellie Bamber. I'm gonna butcher his name. Kaylee Span.
I think so. I would have said Spain.
Yeah, and Aaron Kellyman. So yeah, it's gonna stream Disney Plus, guys. Everything from what you'll be hearing from us, man, is gonna just add more and more value to Disney Plus, guys, because this is definitely one for streaming. This is definitely one to really, a good bang for your buck type of thing.
And it should be noted that it also was announced, and I might as well just throw this in here now because it's just again gonna be what's the word I'm looking for? Foreshadowing to what we've got coming. We're only on page 2. Disney has also announced that coming in March, you will receive a $1 increase on your monthly bill for Disney Plus, and I believe which will be about a $10 increase if you bundle and do the 1-year plan. It will also add $1 to the monthly plan for if you decide to do the Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus bundle, which right now is $12.99 a month, which is a pretty damn good deal, except Hulu is still with ads. And the bundle will go to $13.99. The total bundle, if you decide to do just Disney Plus for the year, I believe is about $100 basically.
Yeah, about $100. So.
And for those of you who got the D23 special at the end of summer 2019, like I did, and you signed the 3-year contract, it does not affect that. That price is locked in and is good for 3 years. So I just wanted to throw that in there because you're going to get more than $1 worth of increases here on this list.
Yeah.
Pretty cool franchise. Diary of a Wimpy Kid is based on the best-selling children's book series author Jeff Kinney. I like this. The animation style, which puts Diary of a Wimpy Kid, separates itself from a lot of other books. it's a really unique, cool
Yeah.
artwork. It's an animated series, and it will be using Kenny's art style
Yep.
for the animation. We did see that I believe it was adopted to a live action version a couple of times. Told a good
Yeah.
story, but
Yeah. It was never the style of which Kenny originally wanted. So yeah, there has been many, I think at least three adaptations for it on the big screen, but there was never a full like series, which is gonna happen again, and which is set to release in 2021 for Disney Plus, guys. So that's another one to add to the book. That's just, man, Disney's come out with hits after hits, man. And well, for my old school heads, man, for my old school Halloween heads, they're finally making a Hocus Pocus number 2
this is
sequel.
the worst kept secret in the Halloween genre of movies.
Finally
Is
announced it.
finally announced. It's been rumored for years. The fake memes on social media. It's every Halloween it comes out. Dude, you hear they're gonna make Hocus Pocus 2? And every Halloween it comes and goes, and they don't.
Mm-hmm.
I might be the only person on the planet who's seen Hocus Pocus and goes, I don't get it.
Oh man,
Um,
it was definitely one of those things where like if you grew up as a kid, you're gonna love it, but at the same time, you go older, you have no clue what the heck's happening. But yeah, no new information about it.
Yeah.
No other information, but it just being confirmed is out in the works right now, guys. So we don't know if the original trio sisters are coming back. We don't know what type of story or anything like that. So it's
I
just
had heard rumors that
right.
that the three had been signed to do when the official rumors came out
Mm,
this past summer that they were going to do Hocus Pocus 2 because there was talk about that it was going to be available for this Halloween.
mm-hmm.
But there is strong official rumors that the original trio, which of course features Bette Midler and Sarah Jessica Parker, and I can never remember the third one. She was always a great bit actress, and I just can't, for the life of me, can't think of her name.
Right.
But will be returning to reprise the roles. Uh, Speaking of old movies coming back, Cheaper by the Dozen will be getting a reboot. Of course, we've seen that movie a couple of times. Most recently, I believe there was one with what's his name? I can't think of it off the top of my head. Didn't it have Hilary Duff in it?
Yeah. That's the one with that's the actually that was featuring C. Martin. Yeah,
Was it
C.
Steve
Martin.
Martin? I was
C.
thinking it
Martin, man.
was. I thought it was the guy from The Rookie.
But it's also old school Smallville Spider-Man, Smallville Superman actor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Steve Martin,
C. Martin.
2003.
Yeah, man. I just forgot the
Um,
Tom Welling. There you go, Tom Welling.
that's right. He was
The
yeah,
oldest.
featured Steve Martin, Bonnie Hunt, Piper Perabo,
Oh yeah,
Tom
that's right.
Welling,
She was there
Hilary
too.
Duff,
That's right.
uh, just to name a few of the key actors. Yeah, I forgot about Piper Perabo. She was in it. Loved her.
Mhm.
She was I was always a big fan of hers. Loved
Yeah,
her in
Charmed. Love her and Charmed.
well, I liked her in Dadgummit. I can't think of the movie now. Coyote Ugly.
Wait, never mind. That's different Piper. I'm thinking of that's different Piper.
There
Never
was a
mind.
character named Piper, wasn't it?
That was the one I'm thinking about. No, Piper Powerball. I'm thinking of she was in a USA TV show called where she
Yeah.
was an agent. Yeah, I love
Yes,
that one.
yes, that was a good show.
Yeah,
It
that
was a
was a good
typical
show.
little USA show.
Like CIA
Um,
something.
yeah. So that's getting a reboot. Disenchanted, Enchanted sequels featuring Amy Adams. Of course, it was kind of the really pushed Amy Adams to the forefront. I know that she really kind of got her first foray into mainstream.
Oh,
Um,
there you
well, I
go.
would imagine. I mean, she did this the straight to DVD sequel of Cruel Intentions,
That's right. Oh God, that was right.
and it was sad as she was the best part of that movie.
Oh gosh,
Um,
that's right.
and there were some lines in that movie I'm sure she wishes she could have back. But nonetheless, Amy Adams will return in the role of Giselle.
Yep.
So I know I think I've seen Enchanted once. It's cute. It's fun
Dude,
for the kids.
I enjoy it. It also featured I don't know if they're gonna bring back what's the name? He was it Dr. McHunk or something like that? Whatever it is
Dr. McDreamy. What
yeah,
was it?
Dr. McDreamy. What's the name, dude? He
Oh,
was
God dang it.
oh man, dude, I keep on forgetting his name. You know, someone should research these things that we should bring out. It's freaking me. But yeah, let me see. I'm gonna try to find out.
I'm busting up IMDb.
I know.
Amy Adams, Patrick Dempsey,
Patrick Dempsey, there you go.
who I was always James Marsden is in this as well. The guy
That's
who
right.
played
He played freaking
Cyclops.
Cyclops, man. He came back
Idina
too.
Menzel was also in it. Of course, the voice
That's right, she was.
of Queen Elsa. Susan
Hmm.
Sarandon, Julie Andrews, just to name a few.
The only one,
And
the only one casted right now for the Enchanted sequel is only Amy Adams. I'm hoping that they get at least maybe some of those actors back. I'm hoping James Marsden comes back, dude. He was freaking amazing.
Patrick Dempsey, I'm sorry, but the best movie I ever saw him in was Can't Buy Me Love from 1987. So,
Mm.
uh, but I digress. Um, Getting to the animation side, a series featuring the lovable inflatable robot from Big Hero 6 franchise, Baymax, getting his own Disney Plus
Finally,
show being released in 2022. By the way, for those who don't know, Big Hero 6 is actually a
dude.
Marvel property. It
Yep.
is not based in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, though. And I love it. If you've never seen
Yeah.
Big Hero 6, it's by far one of the best animated movies I've seen in a long time. And I've heard nothing but good things about the comic book as well. So,
Dude, it was, yeah, like I will say it. I think the animated movie was made from Sony. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Sony did the animated movie, and I loved it, man. It was very. It felt.
no,
If you
the
watched the animated,
Big Hero
was it?
6, that was,
Yeah, Big
that
Hero.
was, that was Disney.
That was Disney.
Oh, yeah, it's a Disney movie. It's actually, I
Really?
think, if I'm not mistaken, actually, Big Hero 6 might actually even be Pixar.
One second. One second. One
No,
second.
it's definitely Disney, because the animated series
Animated
is
series. Yeah, it's on Disney right now. But let me just
it's
pull.
Disney animation. It was made, it was produced
That's right. It's
by,
the animation. That's
yeah,
right.
Disney Animation. It was not Pixar.
That's right. Yeah.
But for the most
Because
of
yeah.
the voice actors who did the original cast
Hmm.
actually came back to do the series on the Disney Channel.
Disney X, I think.
Yeah, Disney X.
EX. Yeah.
But great,
Hmm.
great movie. Highly recommend it.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
the reason why I say that is because the Marvel comic is actually much more not adult oriented, but it's very much teen oriented. It's a bit different
it's not
from
lovable.
the animated. Yeah, it's it's a little bit different. So they definitely Disneyfied Baymax. So which is a good turn to have because it's a big inflatable
Yeah.
robot. So cool. It's gonna start released in 2022, guys, like you said, and that is something to look for. Hey, hey, Kevin, do you
Yo,
like foxes? Do you like
I
foxes?
do, and I know where you're going with this.
How about bunnies? Do you like bunnies as well?
I do.
So,
Uh,
Zootopia Plus has been announced. Yes, they just, oh my, they're Disney just really just one after the other, punching you after like one hit after the other. Man, Zootopia is getting its own its own not animated series.
Actually,
Yeah,
it might actually be. It says every episode
yeah,
will
animated
focus on
series.
on different characters.
Yeah. Yep.
Zootopia Plus coming in sometime in 2022. It will take place after the events of the movie, which is another
Yep.
great movie. Highly
Yep.
recommend it.
It's set to expand.
Um,
It's set to expand the world of Zootopia, so you're not just going to be featuring only one character. I'm hoping. I forgot what's the name of the police cop cat that was on the front desk. Remember him?
oh, that was the cheetah.
Yeah, was it cheetah? I thought he was like a jaguar or something like that.
Maybe it is a jaguar, but
Some of that. I'm hoping we had an episode of him because that guy. I love that guy.
and
Yeah.
wasn't that Josh Gad?
Yeah, that's right. It was Josh Gad. That's
Look
right.
at
That's absolutely right, dude. It should be Josh Gad. And then,
the original voice actors for Zootopia: Jennifer Goodwin, Jason Bateman, Idris Elba, Jenny
mm-hmm.
Slate, Nate Torrance, Bonnie Hunt, Don Lake, Tommy
Shakira.
Chung, J.K. Simmons, Octavia Spencer, Alan Tudyk, Shakira. I'm looking to see who played um, the who played the character.
He should be
Almost it
there.
sounded like Josh Gad, and I'm just not
Wait.
seeing
Yeah.
his name on IMDb.
Yeah. I'm just trying to
But nonetheless, again, another movie that I highly recommend if you've never seen it before. I highly recommend watching um, Zootopia. It's a fun movie. Got a great message, and it's available now, I believe, on Disney Plus. Not showing it today, but Moving right along, just kind of go rapid fire here. Also set to premiere in 2022 is Tiana. Takes place after the events of The Princess and the Frog
Yep.
from 2009. Of course, we do know that Disney announced at D23. I'm sure they did not announce D23. They announced earlier this year that they are going to be redoing Splash Mountain and is retheming it to The Princess and the Frog, which has been long rumored to get a refresh. Of course, currently it is based loosely on the Song of the South movie, which is a controversial movie from, I believe, like the 60s or the 70s. Very kind of racist overtones. People aren't real fan of it. So yeah, goodbye, Brer Rabbit, and hello, singing frogs. But
Nate Torrance is the actor we were thinking of who played the obese cheetah.
oh,
Nate
okay.
Torrance.
Well,
So
it sounded like Josh Gad.
It did, yeah.
Another one of the most successful Disney movies in recent memory, Moana. No other
Yep.
information is that, but it is going to be premiering in Disney Plus sometime soon. It's been long rumored that Moana might get a sequel, but they've just never gotten the franchise off the ground. But taking it to Disney Plus,
Yeah,
might be a little bit better avenue for it until
yeah. Which is a good thing to do, because I'm pretty sure, like, one, just trying to have Dwayne Johnson's number just to have him in is like when half of your budget is gonna go to Dwayne Johnson is definitely a thing. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll get back. Cravello. I don't want to say her first name because I'm just gonna butcher her first name. But yeah, we're gonna get to that. They're probably gonna cast again, bring her back, who was the original voice actress for Moana.
So good.
She was so freaking.
She was actually. It's one of the few times, for those of you who don't know, a long-standing tradition for Disney movies was you had a voice actor and you had a singing actress. Ali Cavallo.
Yeah, Cavallo. I didn't want to say
amazing young actress, and very much almost kind of inspired the look of Moana as well. Beautiful young lady, amazing voice, amazing singing. And I do hope they bring her back.
Yeah, I'm hoping they do, dude.
More adaptation comic books coming to Disney Plus, based on the popular African comic book that is heavy into science fiction. Iwaju. Disney is collaborating with Pan American Entertainment Company Kugali to produce this one. Actually, don't know too much about this yet, if it's going to be Disney Plus or if it's going to be a full-length feature. But this is an animated movie, correct?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it looks good, dude. Like from what I'm saying, it looks like someone. It looks like similar to what you see in Black Panther, but like if it's just multiple cities. So that type of futuristic sci-fi in the West, like in West Africa or North Africa, but then it's just just like these Bahamut towers towering over stretches of civilization where it's just stretched out. It looks freaking cool, dude. That's definitely on my radar, dude. But that looks pretty good, guys. And I will say the last one of the last bits for the segment on just things coming to Disney Plus. They're finally, or Disney Plus as well as just Disney feature films. The last thing that we're gonna say for this one is that Disney is not gonna have its 60th feature length film set in Colombia, Encanto, which is story revolves around a magical family and around their magical house, and it's helmed by the same team that did Zootopia. So it's already looking to be on a great track. It's looking into a great track, and the music will be featured both in English and Spanish. Written by Lin-Manuel Miranda. For those who don't know that, he did Hamilton.
And yes, you had a question? Also wrote the music for Moana. So he is credited for that, and deservedly so. Now, Lin-Manuel Miranda also was one of the lead characters in Mary Poppins Returns, and so he's an amazing, versatile actor. I believe he's won multiple Tony Awards. But he's very acclaimed. So, with that said, 6 pages of notes. We're now at the bottom of page 3, and we're finally ready to get to the good stuff. Okay?
I mean,
all this before was fluff. All this was fluff. Let's get all right. Let's turn on some Zeppelin. Let's get some Mountain Dew and some Funyuns. Let's turn on
You
the
know,
black lights and get those get your go down to your mom's basement because it's about to get Star Wars in this up in this business,
do you not hear the desperation in this man's voice right now? He really
bro.
wants to talk about this, guys. He really
Bro,
does. What's up, man?
if Kathleen Kennedy was on everybody's shit list
She kind
after
of is. She kind
after
of is.
the Last Jedi and what was it? What was the last movie called? The Revenge of Skywalker? No, what the hell was it called?
The something of
The
something.
Rise of Skywalker. The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
People were ready to burn her at the stake. This is a woman. When they announced Kathleen Kennedy as the new president of Lucasfilms, when they purchased it away from George Lucas, they're like, it's in great hands. Kathleen has been the right hand woman to both George Lucas and Steven Spielberg for the better part of 40 years. You see any major motion picture that was directed by George Lucas, directed by or Steven Spielberg, or produced by Amblin, or produced by Lucasfilm, guess whose name was down as a producer? Kathleen Kennedy. She's been right there. She knows how to tell stories. She knows how to make big featured films based in these genres. However, the I don't know what went wrong with the Rise of Skywalker. Ryan Johnson has been proven to tell great stories with Knives Out, but we don't know what caused the what caused the problem with Last Jedi, and then JJ just couldn't re-steer the ship in Rise of Skywalker. We'll get to all that in just a couple of weeks about the rise and fall of the sequel trilogy, but all is right for now.
For now,
in the world of Kathleen Kennedy, because bam, right out of the gate, she hits us with the Rangers of the New Republic, a spin-off series based in the Mandalorian timeline. As JR puts in the notes, the possible rumored spin-off series for Gina Carano's character, Cara Dune. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. If you have not seen Mandalorian Season 2, we find out in the most recent episode that Cara Dune is a new ranger in the new in the New Republic. Kind of, she's a sheriff in the.
She's the marshal.
Yeah. She's a marshal in the new sheriff regime of the New Republic. This could very well be that spinoff series. A lot of people are saying that a show that's coming up that we'll mention here in just a couple of minutes was the show ripped from Gina Carano. I don't think that's the case. I think that the show that's coming up was always gonna happen.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, I put a little pin in there. It's based in the same timeline as The Mandalorian. That's important because there's more to come. We don't know much about this. I think it's going to tell the stories of these new marshals that are spread out on these different planets and systems. In the New Republic, of course, this is all taking place after the fall of the Empire, the death of the Emperor Palpatine. For the most part, the Empire has been pushed away. It's been disintegrated. Yep. But I think much like Hydra, cut off one head, two shall take its place. We are finding that the Empire is not gone, and that the New Republic could be in trouble. So we do know that, like I said, Rangers of the New Republic and Mandalorian Season 3 and beyond are all gonna be kind of tied together.
You're having that same Marvel DNA, Marvel type of understanding where they're gonna have intersecting storylines, guys. And this is how you do proper storytelling: is have one expansive freaking universe and just have everybody just play in. But go ahead, my guy.
It also should be noted, full foreshadowing, will center around a squadron of X-Wing pilots as well. Cannot wait to get some dogfighting going. We saw that earlier in Mandalorian Season 2. We saw it hinted at in Season 1 of The Mandalorian that a certain squadron of pilots are still out there. Foreshadowing. Another show that we have long been talked about. JR has been waiting for this one. We talked about this in our Rogue One episode. Go back and listen to it in the archives on YouTube and on Anchor.fm. Yeah. This is, and I'll let you talk a little bit more about it. This is Andor, based on Cassian Andor. It's a
Cassian.
spy. It's a spy thriller
Yes,
starring
sir.
Diego Luna. Jr. You got
So
to be a little geeked for this one.
yeah,
You are an Andor fan.
I was in the sense of like just okay, cool. He was that that messy, dirty, not really looked upon as your main character type of star. But now he has now it feels like it's definitely the character that most people would envision to be a main character in the sense of like, all right, cool. It's not your blonde hair, good looks, and just dashing good looks type of thing. No, it's the guy who's doing his job specifically for a a a budding rebellion, and so this is going to take place during the very very early years of the Republic. No, during the early years of the rebellion, where we try to figure out, how are they formed? What did they do? How does a spy work in a to go against the Empire? How does a spy work in the new rebellion factions? And so this is going to feature, of course, my buddy here, Kevin said, Diego Luna's coming back. Also returning, Alan
So
Tudyk
good.
and Genevieve O'Reilly as K2SO and Mon Mothma respectively. So that's great to hear. That's good to see. I'm pretty sure they might also include more people and more people from the hopefully the movie. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see Jyn Erso there specifically when we don't really know where she is at that time frame too. But it's set to release in 2022, and I think if initial filming will start soon. I think
It's
about
actually no.
2021.
They've already have gone into production. For those of you who don't know, if you go over to Disney's YouTube channel, you can actually see an exclusive clip behind the scenes. They actually just started filming Andor, and they are dealing. Of course, you'll see some of the photos because
That's right.
you'll see some kind of bullet points that will go like, oh, they must have just started filming because people were wearing masks. So you can tell it's in the COVID era.
Yeah.
But no, they have began filming Andor, and it looks what they did show, which was very minimal. It looks fantastic. Very Rogue Squad. Sorry, very Rogue One esque. Very
Mhm.
dark, gritty, very dingy
Yeah.
cinematography, very much like Rogue One was. I mean, yeah, there were parts where Rogue One was very shiny
Yeah.
and whatnot, but this is a spy thriller. This is down and dirty. Cashin is working in the underground of the
Yeah.
rebellion, and
I
this is
expect
gonna.
it. I expect it to look like what I think of like the French Revolution was per se, or like not the French Revolution, but like the when we think of our particular like French spies now, right? With the big freaking like the big cloaks and everything, right? And specifically the during World War II. That's what I meant,
Yeah.
right? During World War II. You think of French spy and you see like the berets and the dark berets and the huge long and the long flowing cloaks and like no, not cloaks but the long flowing what do you call it, kind of jackets are those, the long jackets, what are they
Oh my
called?
gosh, I cannot think of. I'm blanking
Yeah,
like you are.
same, dude. I might be just because it's too late for us. We're filming right now, guys, around 9 o'clock, so it's kind of end of day for us. But yeah, like that's what I picture when we're doing
Dusters?
it.
No.
Not dusters. Yeah, I guess you could say dusters. Let's say dusters. But yeah, trench coat, trench coat, trench
Trench
coat,
coat.
trench coat, trench coat. Okay, there you go. So that's why I envision a spy to be, and I'm hoping this movie will somewhat look like that because being a spy is never gonna be nice and
No.
and talking with no, dude. Being a spy is being
Dirty
a
work.
spy. Yeah. I want to. I Let me get this one, dude. Let me get the next one.
All
This one
right.
as well. Acolyte. So they
Speaking.
just Star Wars Acolyte, and for those who don't know specifically, I didn't know either that this is definitely a new. I can't say genre or anything like that, but more so a new take on. It's set 200 years before Phantom Menace, and it's set in the High Republic era. For those who don't know the High Republic era, this is actually a newly formed, I guess, set piece in the Star Wars franchise just this year. Like they just made some announcements for the High Republic era, and for this is amazing to me specifically because that means that the Old Republic, right? That was full on EA old school games like from BioWare, right? The Old Republic when
Yep.
you had like old school Jedi's, old school Sith Lords, right? That's now canon to me.
Yeah. I'm
Oh,
loving
oh,
this. I have to imagine that by the way, going back real quick to the Rangers of the New Republic and forthcoming shows that we're going to talk about are being overseen not by Kathleen Kennedy, but by John Favreau. And no word yet if Andor. Actually, I think Andor is being overseen by a group of people. Some of them I think are from the writing team of Rogue One, but it's a new team. No word yet if Acolyte and the some of these other kind of shows that are coming up are going to be overseen by Jon Favreau. But I'm noticing this that when Disney purchased Lucasfilm some years ago, one of the first things they said in when they made the decision they were going to go into production of the sequel trilogy, people were like, "Oh, cool! Like we're gonna get some of the novels
The
adapted
extended
because
universe. Yeah.
the only stories that we had that came out after the Return of the Jedi were what's called as the extended universe. The Zon was it the Zon books?
Yeah.
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 Those were the only ones that we had. Of course, talk about the twins, Luke,
Mhm.
Han, and Leia's twin
Twin
children,
kids.
twin
They
kids.
had 3 kids total.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Twins and another child.
those were decanonized to make way for the sequel trilogy. Of course, looking back, George Lucas has come out and said, "You guys should have done
Why?
the freaking Zahn
Yeah.
books."
I
Um,
come.
but they're starting to adopt certain aspects of other books. So they're cherry picking some of the extended universe.
Mhm.
We have seen some of it already appear in the the Mandalorian this year. Not going to say what
Yep.
because someone hasn't watched it yet. We do know that Dave Filoni has adopted some aspects of the extended universe in years past, prior to the acquisition of Lucasfilm, when Lucasfilm
Mhm.
was independently making Clone Wars and Rogue and Rebels. That they were adopting extended universe material for those that era. So
Yep.
I like this. I like that they're starting to go back.
Yeah.
They're never gonna retcon what has happened in the
No.
sequel trilogies, which is fine. I
Y-
hate
Wait.
retconning. It's
Yeah.
so dumb.
Well, here,
Unless we're involving time travel, and then it's okay.
yeah. Well, here's the thing I would take at this point, particularly, especially with specifically with Acolyte, right? Or actually, even I will hold my points to the current run of sequel trilogies when we get to there, because one, I will say they're basically doing a good portions of the extended universe, or the extended universe of Star Wars, without actually name, like, you have the twins there already, but now
they're using they're using the outline, but they're not using the material.
yeah, like they have the twins out there already, and their names are their names are Ray and and
And
Kylo.
Ben,
Except that,
yeah.
yeah, Red, they're Ray and Kylo. But now that you have them have some type
And
of
they
like,
still screwed that up. They still
yeah,
fumbled it on the 1 yard line.
they did, and they also, oh, we'll get to that when we'll get to that
We'll get that when
goalpost.
we get
We'll
to,
get to that.
we're very
Yeah,
close, ladies and gentlemen. Next
yeah,
week is Return of the Jedi. Then we're gonna get
yeah.
into Force Awakens and
Which
so
will,
on and so
and
forth.
then after Force Awakens, basically you'll just hear me rant for the next 2 episodes again.
We're gonna have to
But yeah,
put
but
JR's mic on mute.
yeah, basically. But anyway, what I love about, specifically about Acolyte, yeah, 200 years after before Phantom Menace, and it's saying that, that once they say a High Republic, meaning that it's, based off the Old Republic, and that it's going to be described as a mystery thriller filled with secrets, intrigue, and emergence of dark side factions and powers. So that's freaking cool to me, because it's never always about, it's sure the main theory is going to be, good versus good versus light, or good versus dark, or good versus evil, light versus dark, and that how those two emerging factions can meet. What people don't freaking realize and to know is, specifically in Star Wars, is much more fleshed out than that. Specifically in the extended universe, you had Sith and Jedi working together back during the High Republic, as well as well, not that, but you had them working out together during the Old Republic. Like, that was a thing.
Yeah.
That was definitely a thing. And so the extremes on the side, like, let's say Darth Sidious, it's definitely the extreme, and the extremes in, like, Ben Kenobi. Those are extremes. But then you still had people in Jedi, on the light side, and Sith on the dark side, that kind of work together, because they knew that. And I love that, because that means we'll get the Old Republic back. That means that Dark Revan, from Knights of the Old Republic, is canon now, and I freaking love that. Those are great characters that honestly, that Disney should look upon and say, all right, cool, yeah, maybe we can use those characters. Maybe we can definitely use some of these characters, even though they're from old centuries ago. Set in the Star Wars universe. that's like you're finally doing the things that fans are saying for you to do. You have so much history now, and so just Acolyte already seeing off the bar. Hopefully, everything be canonized. But I digress. Let's move on.
Move on now. Another show that has been long rumored, because it was basically back when everybody, you get a movie, you get a movie, you get a movie. When they made Rogue One and it was successful, let's make another spin-off movie. Let's make Solo. We're going to give everybody a spin-off movie. Solo, Boba Fett, Obi-Wan, and everyone's favorite gambler, Lando Calrissian. Lando
Scoundrel
was
himself.
the scoundrel himself. Lando has been long rumored to get his own movie since right after Rogue One. But when Solo didn't quite reach the heights that they were expecting, and of course the fallback from
Last
Jedi, they had to kind of reel it back. You know what? A blessing in disguise, because they have done such a great job at adapting the Star Wars content to the small screen and telling better flushed out stories.
Yeah,
when we're seeing with The Mandalorian. This is working out. Disney Plus said that they will feature Lando Calrissian front and center. No word on final casting, but Danny Glover has been reported to want to return to the role. However, I'm also hearing that not only is Danny Glover going to Danny Glover, and that is not the
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover.
Yeah.
Not only is Donald Glover set to return as the galaxy's greatest scoundrel, but his older version also could be returning for flashback and flash forward roles. That would, of course, be the incomparable Billy D. Williams also will play the older Lando Calrissian, not official yet. And of course, no date on release. This was kind of a show that was kind of like, even I was like, JR asked me, he's like, what about Lando? Did that get announced? I'm like, I keep seeing it, but it's like on the fake news site. So I'm like, I didn't know. JR found it. And then when I watched the actual investors meeting, it was kind of a glossed over.
Yeah.
So they don't, they're like, they're sticking their tent pole in. We're going to do this. We just don't know much about it.
Yeah.
What we do know about.
Yes, sir.
Bro.
Come on now.
The man, the myth, the legend, Ewan McGregor is returning as the great Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ben Kenobi, the hermit himself. We will find out why he became the hermit, because the events set after Revenge of the Sith, 10 years to be exact, will be the setting for Obi-Wan Kenobi, the new Disney Plus show featuring Ewan McGregor and that's right, everyone's most hated Sith Lord, Hayden Christensen, Mannequin Skywalker himself. My shitty acting is ruining Saga. Going to little Clerks 2 a while back. No, I'm just kidding. Hayden Christensen, who is still beloved actually as as Darth Vader, as Anakin Skywalker. He's kind of leaned into the criticism. Is returning as the Sith Lord, Darth Vader himself. In a story that's set again 10 years after the adventure for Revenge of the Sith, and it talks about the fall of the Jedi and the rise of the Darth Sith Lord.
Crazy little not segue, but like crazy little. Let me just put this in, right? What crazy time we live in, right? Where to have back one Ewan McGregor, great, but once to announce Hayden Christensen to come back to fanfare, what kind of world are we living in, Star Wars wise, where we're opening, we're from what I'm seeing and from what I'm hearing, people are open arms getting Hayden Christensen back. Oh yeah, we got Anakin back, we got Darth Vader back. Like that's crazy to do that, like because the prequel trilogy is like, oh dude, he's freaking Anakin Skywalker. Yeah.
And going back when we did and again go back into the archives and check out our prequel trilogy, which was just a few weeks ago. There is talent there with Hayden Christensen. Definitely. There's great stories to have been told in the prequel trilogies. It just I think George Lucas was too close to it. It should have been directed by somebody else. Yeah, who we don't know. There was no Irwin Kershner's in the early 2000s. J.J.
Yeah,
Abrams wasn't available. He wasn't even
yeah.
making Alias yet.
I
But
yeah, I also feel that they got stuck in this little loop, not loop, but like they got stuck in this time where like it didn't feel like acting normal, acting like you are a Jedi.
yeah,
It felt like stage acting, you know,
yeah,
like everywhere was stage. And so his mannequin esque like lines felt more much like his force. And so I think it was still during that time where you gotta act or you gotta overact, or in his case not really act at all and try to say your words.
And
Like
God,
it's
could you imagine too? I mean, the kid was what, maybe did a couple of soap operas. He
I
hadn't done
know,
shit, and you're
yeah,
basically playing one of the most critical characters in
in a
in a
franchise,
franchise that's been around for 2 decades.
yeah,
But you know what? We'll see what happens. No
yeah,
word yet on when this goes into production, but I would imagine it's going to be soon.
heck yeah.
Um, speaking of, let's
Let's
just
go,
get right into it because this is
let's
it's killing
go.
Jr. because he hasn't watched season
Ah,
two
I'm so
of The
angry.
Mandalorian, but after one appearance, one episode in this season's Mandalorian, Rosario Dawson
Ugh,
will make her
I love
live
her.
action. Will get her own live action series set in the Mandalorian timeline
Gosh,
as
yes.
Ahsoka Tano,
Tano, Ahsoka
Tano,
Tano.
Tano, the real Last Jedi.
Yeah,
Um, uh,
yeah.
of course, for those who know backstory on this, Asako Tano has been living kind of in kind of like Obi-Wan as a hermit,
Yep.
kind of living
Mhm.
under the radar of the old Empire. And then when the Empire fell, she kind of re-showed her face to kind of help flush out the
Uh-huh.
kind of the satellite uh, 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 camps of the Empire. And
I'm,
she does
I'm
have.
not. I'm not gonna say anything about Rebels. I'm not gonna say anything about the animated series, which she's back in, and I'm freaking excited
I know,
for.
and we were gonna get
Ugh.
that because I've never watched Rebels or Clone Wars,
Original Clone Wars, yeah.
and I want to so desperately, but based on what Asako Tano is doing right
Ahsoka,
now,
Ahsoka Tano.
Tano, sorry, I
Don't
will
worry
get
about
it
it. Don't worry
right.
about it. Yeah.
Um, she is, where is she? Why wasn't she in the fall of the Empire? Why did she come out and help Luke and Leia? Obviously, the character didn't exist
Mm-hmm.
yet. Dave Filoni hadn't created it,
Mm-hmm.
but they're doing a great job when you have an opportunity to tell a story of why weren't you there? You created this great character, and you've set when you do a prequel after the fact,
Yeah.
like like Rebels and Clone Wars is where the character makes her debut, and then she all
Mhm.
of a sudden disappears for 30 years. What the hell?
Yeah.
And they're
I
doing a great
wonder
job
why.
and they're kind of, well, they're also kind of doing a great job at telling why in the Mandalorian, and I think they're going to do a
Mm,
great job in
yeah.
um
Showing why.
yeah in
Mhm.
this new show. So Ahsoka will debut sometime in the next couple of years. Again, Rosario Dawson will be back as the titular character.
I love it.
Rumors are speculating that the series will be about Ahsoka's quest to hunt down General Admiral Thrawn, which, by the way,
Yes.
spoiler alert,
Oh
spoiler alert,
yes.
is referenced in the aforementioned episode that Ahsoka debuts in The
Oh
Mandalorian. It's a
man, I'm
throwaway
so
line, but
happy.
Rebel and Clone War fans are losing their
Oh,
shit
I'm so
because
happy.
there's a possibility that he could make his debut
Oh, like give me that freaking
in The
blue freaking evil
Mandalorian season
bastard. Give
two.
me that blue evil bastard, man.
There
And
is a
he was
possibility.
look okay. So for those who don't know, again, this is the reason why I think this whole investor day was just basically fan fiction. This is basically it's fan fiction to me because everything here is just nothing but like just like for the fan. It's fan service. Thrawn is an extended universe character. He has like
Mhm.
3 books about. He has about 2 or 3 books, right?
Great books
And
too, from what I understand.
amazing for like you had like his level of intrigue, his level of just like understanding of him being a full on admiral and just having this grand or general admiral having this grand fleet and being the head of that of like really fighting off against the rebels, right? Was like we need that. He's a very very captivating villain in the series, and now finally they give some nods to him in the animated series as well as giving him a freaking comic book that same freaking year. I'm hyped, dude. That it's such great freaking news, man. But yes, Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, I would never have thought of in a million years, but I see it now, and yes,
And also should be
yes,
noted that John Favreau will be overseeing this one.
ah,
He will be
yes.
heavily involved. He is the Kevin Feige
Give
of this universe.
just give everything to him. If what's your name wants to look good, just let him have everything.
Now,
That's
it
it.
should be noted that it wasn't officially said, but there is rumors going around that Ryan Johnson's Star Wars trilogy has been shit canned. Um,
Yes.
but there is talk that something that was loosely mentioned
Mhm.
was that Taika Waititi will get a full length
Fine.
feature
Fine with that.
film based
Fine with
in
that.
the Star Wars universe.
Can't
We
with that.
don't know what it's going to be about. We don't know when
Okay
it's going
with
to
it.
happen. We don't know
It's
anything
fucking
about
Taika.
it. But Taika is going to have a
It's fucking
shot
Taika. Hell
at
yeah.
where he's going to have a shot at Star Wars if he's not too busy in Marvel. And that
Mm.
moves us to the next bit of news.
Dude,
Hold on to your butts because here comes Feige Co.
let me just interject real quick. I love it. I tell you, like for those who aren't seeing our YouTube video, which we should plug right now, YouTube. Kevin's channel, right? We'll plug it we'll plug it in the description, everything, guys.
Yeah, it's in
But
the
for those,
description. Yeah.
every time that Kevin, just transitions from another thing, you hear the click click part. I'm like, I love it
Yeah,
so
I
much.
just put up the Marvel Studios logo.
Yep.
Much like you guys saw on our Instagram post when we broke the news that we were going to be diverging away from um, Return of the Jedi
Marvel
again.
comics.
Just want to let you guys know again. Return of the Jedi will be our next week's episode. Also, Empire Strikes Back is available now to
Yep.
watch on our Empire episode is available now on YouTube and of course all podcast
Streaming
platforms. It was a late add to our platform, and I'm hoping this will get out as soon as possible. So, all right, here we go. I got to stretch here for a moment, and as Deadpool himself would say, maximum effort. Let's hit them right out of the gates. Why don't we, JR? We have been talking about what is going to be the tent pole. What are we striving to? For the last 10 years, Marvel has led to one thing: Thanos. It led to an Avengers movie. We saw Ultron, and then we saw the Infinity Saga come to a head with Infinity War, arguably one of the greatest cinematic achievements in history of movie and film. A great story, great acting, great effects, great studio, great time. Sad it was our Empire Strikes Back of the Marvel Universe. And then we come and we get our retribution with Marvel's Endgame. So, what is going to be our tent pole?
The next 10 years.
What's the next thing? What are we striving towards? Is it going to be Civil War 2? Is it going to be House of M? Is it going to be AVX? Is it going to be, dare I say, Secret Wars? Still a possibility. But there was something that was thrown out there after the conclusion of both Captain Marvel and Spider-Man Far From Home was, could we get Secret Invasion? Well, guess what, folks? Your answer is yes. But it's not a full-length feature film. It is going to be a Disney Plus miniseries event. It will feature, as JR said, Samuel L. Jackson. Got to bleep myself out there. Got to save it for the good one. Will return as the former head of S.H.I.E.L.D., Nick Fury. And, of course, it also starred Ben Mendelsohn, who is the Skrull Talos, who you saw, of course, in the aforementioned Spider-Man Far From Home and Captain Marvel. Fantastic as Talos. They will both return. Will we see Sword? Or will we see Shield? What will we see? And we saw a swerve in Captain Marvel, and I'm okay with it. We saw that the Kree was the villain, and that the Skrulls were the anti-hero, the hero,
The
but
victims,
the
yeah,
victims.
yeah.
But in the investor meeting, Kevin Feige mentions that Secret Invasion is based on scroll operatives
Mm-hmm.
infiltrating the Marvel universe and Earth and taking the form of people on Earth.
Yep.
So maybe, just maybe, as there were people in the Kree um, race that are good people,
Mm-hmm.
maybe there's bad people in the Scroll race.
Most
So
likely.
it's still very much hinted at that the Secret Invasion is the Scroll race invading
Yeah.
Earth and taking the shape of some of our heroes and
Yep.
some of other Earth's beings. That, of
Yeah.
course, is going to be coming to Disney Plus. No date on that yet, but
Yeah.
oh my God, was I
Eh,
geeking over
yeah.
that?
I feel too though from just the feel of like how not home but Far From Home was, as well as just the overall feel of Captain Marvel. I do feel like this is gonna be one more lighthearted type of miniseries, even though they'll have definitely some like heavy standing situation that might tilt how the MCU will go. I do feel because it has Ben Mendelsohn's character Talos, as well as Samuel L. Jackson being Samuel L. Jackson. I do feel like it might be one of those brevity type of miniseries where it's gonna be kind of maybe more lighthearted. That's why I feel like that's how I felt like the characters have portrayed themselves, specifically in the last couple of years. Samuel L. Jackson being Samuel L. Jackson, like I said before, and the Scrolls being much this like these operatives now, right? These funny, kind of not zany operatives, but like they're very much filled with levity, or no, with brevity, in the sense of like they're just they're not having a good time, but like there were definitely a lot of the comedic points to both those films were on the Scroll side. So I feel like it's gonna be something like that, something similar to that. I'm hoping that we will have some type of crazy, realization that yeah, scroll invasions is gonna happen, because the things that happen in the comic books, guys, the scroll invasion in the Secret Invasion comics was crazy, dude, crazy
Gosh,
intrigue.
the Secret
Yep,
Invasion was an 8-part miniseries in Marvel Comics back in
yep.
2008.
Mm-hmm.
The story arc in which the shape shifting race of aliens, the Skrulls, have invaded Earth and are impersonating key figures in the Marvel universe.
Captain
Um,
America. I think Susan Storm, not
Now,
Susan Storm, Susan
foreshadowing.
uh
It should be noted that the conclusion of Secret Invasion saw Norman Osborn given complete control of the national security by the president and will go on to form Hammer. Now, of course, we've already seen Hammer, so to speak, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We saw it in Iron Man 2 with
yep,
Justin Hammer creating his company, his competition
yep,
company to Stark Industries. We
yep,
also saw HammerTech make its appearance also in Daredevil seasons 1 and season 2. It was
yep.
the weapons that
That
Matt
Daredevil.
Murdock was trying to
Yep.
get off the streets. It was HammerTech, and I believe it may have also appeared in Luke Cage, and it may have appeared in the Punisher as well.
You're
So
right. You're right. It
Hammer,
wasn't Luke Cage.
yeah, I think HammerTech is very much out there as kind of the underground weapons trade for the
Mhm.
bad guys
Yeah.
uh, in the Marvel universe. So,
Hey,
a
hey,
little,
hey, Kevin. Hey,
yes,
Kevin.
sir.
Quick question: who was the main antagonist to Hammer specifically in the feature film?
Would be Whiplash. It was
Mm-mm, mm-mm. Tony Stark, my dude.
well, Tony Stark has got a lot of play in this
Uh huh.
announcement, including the
Uh
next
huh.
one.
Uh huh.
We all expected it.
Mm-hmm.
We just didn't know when. We
Mm.
didn't know when, where. Was it going to be a full length feature film? Had we seen her already?
Mm.
Were there Easter eggs somewhere in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Well, now we know some of the answers to the questions. Dominique Thorne
Mm.
is coming to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Who? An actress to play Riri Williams,
Mm.
aka Ironheart, will be coming to the Marvel Cinematic Universe sometime in the next couple of years. I
But
cannot wait.
but wait, Kevin. What does Riri Williams have to do with Tony Stark though?
Riri Williams, not only in the comic books, went to MIT, the same school that Tony Stark went to, but she, in her dorm room as like a 14-year-old, created her own suit of armor, similar, if not more advanced than the Mach 1 of Iron Man.
Of its time. Yep.
She created the one of the most advanced pieces of Iron Man tech ever seen in the Marvel universe, and kind of give you a real kind of Reader's Digest version of Ironheart. Riri sees her father murdered in front of her at a picnic in the park, in front of her and her best friend.
I'll yes.
What's that?
I'll Punisher. Yes.
Yeah. So now her mom, single mother, raising this genius of a child, and so we see like most genius children, she rebels a little bit. And her mom's going like, okay, her father died, blah blah blah, and so she finds out, no, this kid is a genius. She needs to be at these special schools. And the mom's like, well, how am I supposed to afford this? I'm a single parent. Oh, don't worry about it. Oh, we want this kid. Long story short, she ends up at MIT, finds out she's too smart to be at MIT. She creates the Ironheart suit. MIT wants it because it's their property. Tony Stark says, fuck you, she's working for me.
There's your F-bomb.
There's my F-bomb. She's coming to work for Stark Industries. Long story short, she's the new quote unquote Iron Man in the Marvel universe, because after Civil War II, Tony is put into a comatose after his battle with Captain Marvel. Now, he does, spoiler alert, he does come back in a physical form, but for the most part of the better part of about 2 or 3 years, Tony Stark's consciousness was put into an AI, much like Friday, much like Jarvis, and whatnot. And so Riri's AI in Ironheart is Tony Stark. And that's what she, to this day, she still has Tony Stark's AI as her onboard computer for the Ironheart suit. Riri has gone on to join the likes of the Champions, and it's a fantastic story. So follow the bouncing ball on this little Marvel.
Actually, to kind of actually expand on that for specifically for Riri too. during that time frame too, there was actually 2 Iron people at the time, because during the comic book the comic book term after Civil War II, Civil War II. I just literally lost the name. The great Dr. Doom, spoiler alert, became also another Iron Man at that time. He was seen as he at the time made a good pivotal shift into the good character side.
He was the infamous Iron Man.
Infamous Iron Man.
Iron Man. Decent little run.
It was good. It should have been better. It could have been better. It could have been better.
I think it was overshadowed because you had a decent run of Invincible Iron Man, and then you had a side story where Tony is
sidelined, basically
sidelined a little bit, and he comes to find out that well, my gosh, I can't think of his name. Howard and Maria Stark were not his biological parents.
That's right. Yeah.
We come to find out that actually his biological parents, one was a SHIELD operative, one was a Hydra operative, and that was part of it was a mini series in between Infamous Iron Man and Invincible Iron Man. Yeah. Oh god, now I'm gonna have to try to look it up, but
don't worry. But anyways, go back on that. Because of the vacuum left by a comatose Tony Stark, we had to have in the Marvel world, we had to have some levels of Tony Stark or Iron people back, and of course the role of Iron Man or Iron Person was definitely given to Riri Williams, who, of course, for those who don't know, Riri Williams is African American. Great, awesome pickup, Dominique Thorne. Now we're gonna have similar context in today's term, where we're now in the MCU world without Tony Stark.
International Iron Man. That's what I was thinking of.
That's right, International Iron Man. That
That
came
was the
out
story.
2017. Ongoing thing.
2016,
16.
and that was the one that told the story of Tony's accurate or storyline, his real parentage. So
yeah, but yeah, going back to where because now since now in the MCU we are left without Tony Stark, and possibly possibly his technology is now in the hands of nefarious people per se. But also in the hands of good people. One is possibly going to be Riri Williams, which she will be taking on the role of Ironheart. But because since Tony's technology is out there now per se, without him technically trying to protect his IP and him protecting everything because he's Iron Man, a lot of his technology is now falls in the hands of nefarious people. What happens now? Armor Wars. Armor Wars is
this was
this is a good Armor Wars is actually an original story that took place in the comic books. I forgot exactly when.
I want to say it was like in the 80s or something like that. I was trying to look it up.
It takes place in it basically happens when it's the story that tells like what happens when Tony Stark's armors or his technology falls into the villain's hands. So without Tony Stark now, Don Cheadle returns back as Rhodey War Machine to try to take all that stuff back, as well as basically go to war and try to stop all these villains and ne'er-do-wells doing things that ne'er-do-wells do. So that is going to be miniseries coming up soon too. So we have Don Cheadle back, so that's freaking awesome. I love him as War Machine. Yes.
Armor Wars actually, I apologize, was actually 2015, but I could have sworn there was a version that was from like the 80s or the early 90s. But we'll have to do a little bit more.
Actually, I think that was Armor Wars 2. There's an Armor Wars 1. I think that was later.
Okay, Iron Man and the Armor Wars. See, they're still showing that as in 2010. I know there's an old Armor Wars. We'll have to do some more research, but it is a great storyline. And like JR mentioned, it's based on what would happen if Tony's technology fell into the wrong hands. And I think that you're going to see Ironheart and Armor Wars kind of
and that's great. That's great to have, because this now again right now this is going to be pure speculation for my part, but I'm hoping that if Armor Wars does happen and we can't get it's hard to pay for the image of Robert Downey Jr. to become an AI and help out a fledgling Riri Williams become basically Ironheart. I'm pretty sure there's a good possibility that Don Cheadle is going to fill that role, because one, it's awesome to have one that is already an established character, a War Machine that's already in a suit, be attributed as becoming the possible like mentor to a young Riri Williams. And it's also good to have two awesome African American characters. And again, I don't want to make this a political debate or anything, but it's just good to have on screen, to have
1987 Armor Wars.
Breaking news.
Here we go. Iron Man number 225, part 1 of Armor Wars story arc begins and with 225, it ends with 231. Yep. It is like, I'll use for example this, and I'm going to kind of fill in some notes because we got to the comic book version of this series. Is I'm going to kind of fill in some notes. Iron Man 225 right now, the part 1 of Armor Wars is going for $7. Now, it should be noted as I'm pulling this up.
Bring a brewery. Come on, do it.
I have this book.
What, Armor Wars?
Yeah, I have 225. I have Iron Man 225. I also have first appearance. I also have first appearance of Ironheart, which is
Iron Man.
I think it's Invincible Iron Man number 7.
I think like in tens. I think.
Let me see here. Invincible Iron Man. Let's go make a little. Also, should be noted that Secret Invasion number 1, new up high grade number 1 is going for $10 right now, which is not bad considering that a lot of modern books have high print runs, especially when Marvel does a quote an event storyline. But I still think that's going to go higher. Invincible Iron Man, where'd you go? Invincible Iron Man number, I think it's volume 3. No, it's volume 2. So if you're following along on CLZ Comics,
Mhm.
Invincible Iron Man Volume 2, issue number 9 is the first cameo of Riri Williams. Right now, that book is going for anywhere between $50 and $100 high grade.
The first print or second print? Second print.
First print. Second print is going for $30 to $50.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you who are keeping track at home, the first print is the white Invincible Iron Man logo. The second print is the blue Invincible
Yeah.
Iron Man logo. This is from October of 2016.
Yeah. And there's a couple covers too, because I think
I
the
apologize.
second print. Go ahead.
Issue number 9 is the first appearance of Invincible of Riri. Issue number 7 is the first cameo. That book is going for anywhere from about $50 to $75. The second print is going for about $20 to $30 right now. So check those long boxes, bro, and see what you got.
I got 9.
I have them both. Yeah,
I have 9. Which
I have 7 and 9, and I have both second prints.
Going back to the point. It's just that we're gonna have. It's good to have basically two very prominent. I can't say prominent, but like two, because we have yet to see a lot of Dominique yet, but a very prominent actor in where was I actually? Where was I? A very prominent actor in Don Cheadle to kind of just kind of be the mentor, fill that mentor role that, of course, we lost in RDJ and as his Tony Stark. So that's good to have a mentor role for possibly Dominique for Riri coming in. Yeah. So we might have that. We might have that in Armor Wars as well as Ironheart. There's no specified details yet, guys, but then I'm pretty sure it's going to feature. It's going to happen.
So. Now I just rattled off 3 properties prominently featuring African American actors and actresses. Samuel L. Jackson as the incomparable Nick Fury. Riri Williams, the new blood, Dominique Thorne, coming in to play this new character. Don Cheadle, been around for decades. The dude's a phenomenal actor, multi-time award winner. Not in your notes, JR. It was glossed over. People forgot about it. There is a man who pitched an idea the day after he won a freaking Academy Award. He went to Kevin Feige and said, Feige, we need more vampires in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
That's right.
They put a pin in it and said, what was it?
Mahershala
Ali. We'll think about it. They debuted it at Hall H 2019 and said, we're going to think about it. We're going to do this, but we just don't know when. And it was announced, it's no thought, no more. They are making Blade with Mahershala Ali as the titular character. So cannot wait. No date set in stone yet, but they have said, we're making the freaking movie. There's no thinking about it. There's no planning. We're making it. It went from an idea from a guy who got up after a night of celebrating an Academy Award victory, went over across town to Marvel and went to Kevin Feige and said, listen, I understand that Wesley Snipes is the ultimate badass and he made Blade his own. I can make it just as good, if not better. Give me a shot. And he got his wish. So Mahershala Ali is coming to the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Blade the Vampire Hunter.
Finally.
Cannot freaking wait. I've only seen bits and pieces of the original Blade.
Really?
But we go from a vampire hunter to something a little bit lighthearted. Why don't we talk about one of the greatest stigmas in nerd culture is slapping a name called holiday special on something. We saw how it worked for Star Wars. Now they're getting it for Guardians of the Galaxy. Mind you, James Gunn pitched this idea 3 years ago to Kevin Feige, and Feige says, you're an idiot. I'm not doing a holiday special. So he bugged him and 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 said, finally Feige said, shut up, you can do it, but you have to shoot 2 movies back to back. Guardians of the Galaxy, the holiday special is coming to Disney Plus in 2023. And it will be
Oh
shooting
man.
back to back with, 2022. It's
Mhm.
shooting back to back with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which will come out in 2023. So it's written and directed by James Gunn. And it is inspired by Star Wars the holiday special. So we don't know, is it going to be Groot Life Day or Rocket Life Day? We don't know yet. So
Oh, you know, yeah, man. That's a cool little tidbit. Freaking James Gunn, man. I love the guy, man. I love he's definitely the breath of fresh air that Marvel needed at a good time too.
and the guy's
Specifically,
busy. He's got to shoot these things two back to back. He's
yeah.
got he's
Freaking Suicide
got Suicide
Squad.
Squad that's going to be dropping on HBO Max sometime
Yeah,
next year. He's
he,
then
he's helping out
doing
with Thor. He's helping out with Thor as well.
yes, that's right, because he has his characters are going to be in Thor: Love and Thunder,
Yeah.
and then of course Thor characters from Thor: Love and Thunder are going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and he's producing Peacemaker for HBO Max featuring John Cena.
The man is busy, and
The man's
y'all
busy.
canceled him like 3 years. Y'all people canceled him like 3 years ago, expecting like, oh, he should never work Hollywood more.
Bro,
And
I
here he
wanna
is,
know
like 5 freaking things back to back because he's actually a really good
is
fucking person.
who is more going to be more busy? Is it A, Dwayne Johnson, which we all know he's always busy? Is it going to be B, James Gunn, or is it going to be C, Taika Waititi, and D, all of the above? Speaking of more James Gunn,
go ahead. Wait, great. All three of them in a movie together. Who's directing?
Well, Dwayne Johnson hasn't made his directorial debut yet.
He'll be producing it, but then all three of them in a movie together.
Yeah.
But
because both of them are going to put themselves in the movie.
Yeah.
Speaking of James Gunn, the hardest working man of show business, he will be producing I Am Groot, a series of animated shorts for Disney Plus. Much like we saw with actually Rocket and Groot, which was based so loosely on the which people forget about, was based loosely on the Scotty Young comic series that was from 2015 2016. Great run, by the way. But nonetheless, yeah, baby Groot will center around Baby Groot between Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, said to feature many new and unusual characters. It will be produced by James Gunn, but it will be written and animated by others. And again, it's set to come out on Disney Plus very, very soon. As if the quantum realm could not have been more unexplainable after the events of Avengers Endgame and Ant-Man and the Wasp, we get Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantum Mania. Sounds like something Vince McMahon produced in the 80s.
Just like some B-movie type of title, man, which I freaking love.
I love it.
I absolutely love it.
Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas, and Michelle Pfeiffer will be returning for each of their roles as Ant-Man, Wasp, the original Ant-Man, and the original Wasp. Will be anchored by Jonathan Majors, who will be playing the new bad guy, Kang the Conqueror, in this movie. Ooh, let's see. Let's just for shits and giggles, let's look and see what the first appearance of Kang the Conqueror is going for on Key Collector.
Yeah, as he searches that, guys, I'm kind of hoping that Catherine Newton comes back too, man. Catherine Newton played the older Cassie Lang, the daughter of Paul Rudd's character.
Catherine Newton is new.
Yeah,
she's the new actress, but Cassie, the adult Cassie Lang, is making her return from Endgame.
Yeah,
and let's see. We've mentioned Ironheart. We have another character we got to talk about here that's kind of youngish. We've got Cassie Lang, who, by the way, I believe played. Was she play Stinger or I can't remember. She plays a comic book character. Isn't she in some kind of team?
And also,
young team.
I know. And also, didn't they just announce, or didn't we just see rumors and bits and pieces that Haley Steinfeld was also, in an
upcoming Disney project?
Yeah. It's all these young actors, young actresses.
It's like there's a young group that of the world's of Earth. I've dropped my freaking pen.
Yeah, it feels like there's a bunch of young actresses and actors that are just looking like they're gonna hold on to the reins and just go into everything. So, but yeah,
By the way, Kang the Conqueror's first appearance was in
Four.
Fantastic Four number 19. Came out in 1963. Of course, it features the writing of Stan Lee and artist work of King Jack Kirby. Right now, high grade goes for $1,400. Mid grade $365. A low grade for $90. Also, it should be noted the first appearance of was his first appearance of Pharaoh Rama Tut, later revealed to be the time traveler King the Conqueror. Also, for the first time, this is Stan Lee first uses the phrase "Nuff said" in the special announcement section. So, kind of a little thing. The first full appearance of Nathaniel Richards as King the Conqueror, previously Rama Tut, and later Immortus, was in Avengers number 8. That book going for high grade $2,700. And of course, they're saying that is the version of King the Conqueror that they're going with is the character of
but wait, Kevin.
Nathaniel Richards.
So, but wait, Kevin.
Wait.
Just before that, though, I know we're going to segue to something just real quick, though. But King the Conqueror, why is he in Ant-Man the Wasp when he's a Fantastic Four character, a Fantastic Four villain character?
Well, we do know that
we'll put a pin in that real quick, though. But
Ant-Man and the team are set to face off against Kang the Conqueror, a time-traveling villain that Majors will play. Of course, Catherine Newton comes back. Will join the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Cassie Lang. People know Catherine Newton. Catherine Newton will play. You know her from movies such as Detective Pikachu, most recently, and others.
She was in Supernatural as well.
She's a phenomenal young actress. She's hilarious. She has great comedic timing, and I think she's going to work great next to people like Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly. This is set for release in spring of 2023. We mentioned before that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will get a release date in 2023 as well. That will go into production alongside Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. Real quick, kind of a real quick recap, and we'll kind of hit some bullet points, but also released in this investor meeting, or so to speak, we got more information about Loki. We also got more information about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and What If, and we'll get to that in just a second. But also, we got more information about Miss Marvel and Hawkeye. Now, we do know that officially Haley Steinfeld has been recognized as Kate Bishop, the heir apparent to the the original Avenger Hawkeye.
Yep.
And she will be trained by Clint Barton, aka
her dad.
Well, no, what's oh my gosh, I can't think of Clint Barton's name, the actor.
Dude, how freaking dare you?
Exactly.
And
I can picture him.
Yeah.
Anyways, Haley Steinfeld will make her debut in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the worst kept secret in the Marvel Universe, that she will play Kate Bishop. And again, that is in production now. There were pictures that made it on its way on the internet. We also get some looks into it. We also get our first clips of Miss Marvel on
Jeremy Renner.
Okay, so Jeremy Renner and Haley Steinfeld we saw in New York filming parts of Hawkeye, and of course this is going to be based a lot on the series that came out just a few years ago, to the point even where they were using
the dog.
They're using the
same dog,
but they're using the logo, the official logo for the it is the
intro logo for the thing.
Kelly Thompson's run in Hawkeye. So hey, those books are gonna be
they sell pretty well.
And of course, if you want your first appearance of Kate Bishop, I believe that's Young Avengers number 1.
Think so, if I remember correctly. Yeah, guys. Also, just to add to that point, the trailers for Loki, Falcon, and WandaVision, What Ifs, and not Hawkeye, but those are out yet.
The sneak peeks there's the sneak peek into Miss Marvel. There's an exclusive clip of Loki. Bucky and the Winter Soldier get an official trailer. WandaVision gets their last trailer before the release. We get January 15th is the release date for WandaVision. We officially find out when we are getting Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We are getting that in the second week in March. Loki, I would imagine, is going to be sometime after Falcon and the Winter Soldier. it is coming out in 2021, and we also know that What If will come out in the summer of 2021, and
Yeah.
every single Marvel Cinematic Universe film, all 20 films, we were told will get a What If spinoff in
Good.
animated form. It looks
Which looks good.
so
It's really
beautiful.
freaking good, man. Yeah.
Now, can we talk about the What If teaser? There's a
Which one
lot
though?
that goes on in this teaser that we see.
Mm.
The first and foremost we get is Jeffrey Wright is Uatu the Watcher. You know
Yep.
Jeffrey Wright. He was in James Bond. He was in Casino Royale. He is the American CIA agent to James Bond from England.
Mm-hmm.
I can never remember what he works for. Anyways, not important. Jeffrey Wright is the voice of Uatu, so we get to see the Watcher make
Yeah.
his debut in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Um, we find out that obviously the aforementioned that Peggy Carter is the one who
Yep.
gets the secret soldier serum. But we also
Yep.
get a teaser that the Mach 1 Iron Man suit makes its debut
Steve
during World War
Rogers.
II,
Yeah.
and Steve Rogers
Rogers
is the
is it? Yeah.
pilot of the
Yeah.
Mach 1 suit. We do see Howard Stark. Um, we also see there was a clip in the original What If trailer coming
Mm.
out a couple years ago that we saw what looked like an African American Star Lord,
Mm-hmm.
and some people thought because of the goatee that maybe it was just a tanned Tony Stark and the lighting or something like that. But no, we find out that what's his name?
T'Challa.
No. The guy that's from the guy with the mohawk that
Oh, Yondu.
Yondu.
Yondu. Yeah.
We find out when Yondu comes down before went to Iowa to pick up instead of picking up Peter
Peter
Quill,
Quill. Mm-hmm.
he instead goes to the African country of
Wakanda.
Wakanda and picks up a young prince named T'Challa. That's
Mm-hmm.
right. One of the last Marvel appearances of the late great Chadwick Boseman will be him doing the voice of the adult T'Challa as Star Lord in the Guardians of the Galaxy version of What If.
Mm.
A lot of fans
Yeah.
are just glowing over this.
It's gonna be interesting take. I will say it's gonna be interesting take because like is it gonna be T'Challa as Star Lord or is it Chadwick Boseman trying to imitate Star Lord, Peter
No,
Quill Star Lord?
it is as if T'Challa is picked up in Wakanda instead of
Mm.
Peter Quill in America, and is taken on the adventures with Yondu. So it's like as if
That's gonna be
Yondu picked
interesting.
up someone completely different.
Yeah.
We also get of course, the they're going to do a spinoff. Probably I think it's going to be the Winter Soldier
Mm-hmm.
storyline. Is we're going to get Marvel Zombies.
That's right. We are.
And I gotta say, there's a moment, and we'll have to freeze frame it, but there's a moment where we see kind of Doctor Strange doing his little hand thing, and we see the Eye of Agamotto
Yeah.
that we know is an Infinity Stone, but
Mm-hmm.
behind him there's a logo on the chest of the person in possession of the Eye of Agamotto, and it looks very similar to that of the dragon tattoo of the man known as Iron Fist. It
Mm.
looks very much like the Iron Fist logo. And Jerry, I'm gonna have to send you the clip. No one's addressing it. I caught it. It happens just like that. You really have to pay attention to it.
Mm.
But there is a battle sequence in this trailer that shows two versions of Doctor Strange
That's right.
going at one another. And one is throwing like fire from his hands, whereas the other Doctor Strange is blocking it with those like gold shield things. So very
Mm-hmm.
interesting. A lot of things going to happen in this trailer. We do get to see an animated version of Tony Stark sitting in the donut from
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man 2. We
Yep.
see an animated version of Thor, like in Thor 1, jumping into that shield base to steal the hammer back.
There was
So beautiful too.
it harkens to a lot of old clips per se from the original first phase of the
I cannot wait.
Marvel.
This is actually of
Yeah, it's
all the
gonna
things
be
coming out.
it's
What
gonna be
if
really,
is
really good.
what
Yeah,
is what I want.
it's gonna be particularly it's gonna be really good. And I like that uh, I like how they are going to see the what if, because the what ifs in the comics have been a long mainstay until probably like the recent, I think the early 90s or so. And so the what ifs has always been very much very much an intrigue to fans, is saying, yeah, okay, what happens if if we didn't have Captain America? What if he was someone else? And so just to have that on there, just have it was very much a nod from Kevin Feige to like our to the old school the old head fans of like of Marvel Comics. And I love that. But what I do love though is that the possibility is that to kind of segue back. What I do love in that the what ifs is that possibilities of other futures and other realities. I will harken back to this. What do you think about the Loki trailer?
The Loki trailer intrigued me because we see the events of Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
Loki gets the Tesseract, he disappears.
Yep.
Next thing we know, he appears in a desert scene,
Yep.
which seems to be Mongolia from like
Possibly
centuries
different.
ago.
I'm thinking it's Mongolia, but at the same time, it feels like it feels like Mongolia from our world, but it also feels like it's not, in a
Yeah,
sense. Like
so
it feels more like like civilization has evolved
yeah,
to a certain point. And so it looked really interesting. Like
it does. And we see the first appearance of Owen Wilson's character, we don't know much
oh
about,
yes,
and it's a part of the Travel Variants Association,
mm-hmm.
TVA,
Yep,
which is a organization that I guess kind of oversees time travel
mm-hmm.
and different events in the Marvel universe. This does
Mm-hmm.
exist. This does exist. We'll probably cover it more as we get closer through. Like I said, when we get WandaVision, I think
Yeah, that's so interesting.
once we finish the Star Wars series,
Yeah,
we might take a break and join into WandaVision, or maybe we might address the Mandalorian and whatnot. But
mm-hmm.
we definitely want to get into these Marvel series because we're
Mm-hmm.
going to get them. I think we're going to get them back to back to back.
Back to back. Yeah,
We're going to get WandaVision in January. It's already been announced. We're going to get Falcon the Winter Soldier in March. Most
mm-hmm.
likely, we're going to get Loki in sometime spring of this year.
Yep.
And definitely, like I said, we are going to get What If
Mm-hmm.
in the summertime. And then you got to think we're also going to
Kamala
get
Khan,
um,
Kamala.
we're going to get Miss Marvel in production. We're going to get Hawkeye in prediction
Yep.
in production. We're also going to get She-Hulk. She-Hulk has not yet started,
Yep.
but we did get also not in your news, your notes, but we throw this out there real quick. She-Hulk has casted their titular character,
Finally. Yeah.
and that wasn't the big news from that. We
No.
find out that not only is the Hulk himself, Mark Ruffalo's version of Bruce Banner, going to make an appearance in
Yep.
She-Hulk, but we also know that Tim Roth is back in the Marvel
Abomination.
Universe as the
Yeah.
Abomination, going
Yeah.
back to the old school Incredible Hulk featuring Edward Norton.
Yeah.
So it says right there, they are still canonizing the
Yeah.
Incredible Hulk. So
Didn't I also hear there's a specific rumor that Betsy Ross was also coming back too in
there's
that.
also, yeah, I got to imagine that. And who
Yeah.
knows? Remember, going back to the What If,
Yeah.
they've said that each movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, all 20 movies, which includes the Spider-Man movies, and one would have to imagine it's also going to include the Incredible Hulk. So just I can't wait for all these things. Miss Marvel also has begun production. We saw a kind of a scissor reel, so to speak, like a behind the scenes look at the production of Miss
Yeah.
Marvel. It was announced that Captain Marvel 2 was also
Yep.
going to be coming out. It will feature Brie Larson returning
Yep.
as Captain Marvel. It also said that we will get the adult version of Monica Rambeau that we've seen
Oh
now appearing in
yes.
WandaVision, because it's going to be taking place in modern
5
time.
years. 5
And
years.
we are also going to see Kamala Khan meet her
Miss
idol. We
Marvel.
are going to see Miss
Mm-hmm.
Marvel in Captain Marvel 2.
Finally, dude. This is
Now,
gonna definitely there was a lot of right leaning fans of the Marvel universe. They did not want Brie Larson back as Captain Marvel.
well, let's
Captain
see what
Marvel.
happens. Maybe a different.
Yeah.
We're getting a new writer. We're getting a new director. Um, Speaking of,
There was still so much talk about wanting Gina Carano become Captain Marvel, and don't get me wrong, that'd be awesome to see. But at the
Gina
same time, like
Carano,
that's what I heard. Gina Carano, that might there's some
too
talk saying that
big.
well, here's the thing, like Captain Marvel in the comics isn't a small person, isn't as petite as Brie Larson is, and
No,
she's it very much because people were looking at in the sense of like Gina Carano, right? One, like there's gonna be even if Gina Carano does have her own series in the sense of like and in her own Star Wars series where she becomes like a marshal, but at the same time is a jet fight is becoming a jet fighter as well. Like that is
oh
gonna
shit!
have more. That's what I'm saying.
I
That's
just
gonna
forgot
that's gonna
we forgot something.
what? Wait, before you
Oh,
say that, before you say that, let me finish my point.
go ahead, sir.
When that's just gonna have more people say that when you have Gina Carano looking like a jet fighter pilot, Captain Marvel's Captain
Yeah,
Marvel's jet fighter pilot. So why not? So that was one of the reasonings and conspiracies that people thought to say that that's the reason why Brie Larson's out of the game now. Because we've also had talks of like well Brie Larson's out with and that freaking what's her name, the horrible person herself, that Johnny Depp's ex. There you go. I'll just say
never
that name.
heard.
Yeah. No, I'm
Uh,
not. I'm just gonna say Johnny Depp's ex, and then that how she was in the running to possibly play Captain Marvel too now because of rumors and all that stuff and speculation. But then,
yeah, I did hear
yeah,
that.
neither here or there. Whatever. What's your point?
Yeah. Actually, I'll get to it. We'll throw it at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But I will note also the when it comes to um God dang it, I forgot what I was gonna say. Um,
I know how you feel.
no, I'm trying to get something for our next segment here. Um, when it comes to She-Hulk, Kevin Feige did mention that, hey, Marvel fans, don't forget that um, Jennifer Walters is the lawyer for a lot of superheroes. So maybe there's going to be cameos. So they hinted at there's going to be some major cameos in that. But what he didn't hint at is whether or not Jennifer Walters is going to be representing a certain web slinger in his third upcoming movie. However, what he did say that was kind of glossed over and no one really is talking about is when they mentioned Wanda and the WandaVision, Kevin Feige specifically said that the events of WandaVision, which deals with a bit of the multiverse, will affect the movie Doctor Strange and the
Mm,
multiverse of madness. And it
madness.
is
Yep.
official. It is official, my friend. Sam Raimi, the guy
Oh
who
yes.
brought us the original Spider-Man, will be directing Doctor Strange 2, the multiverse of madness, the horror, one of the great kind of slapstick horror
Mm,
directors of our time. Kind of really doesn't know how to do kind of a crazy thriller. Of course, he brought us
yep.
the Evil
Evil Dead.
Dead series and whatnot. He is, and in fact, he said it is going to be very much a horror thriller kind of movie. So
It's great.
cannot wait for that. But Feige said that WandaVision will affect Doctor Strange 2,
Yep.
which will affect the third
Everything else.
Spider-Man movie.
Which everything else. And no.
Specifically said it affects the third standalone Spider-Man movie, which leads to we're going to jump
Wait,
to the
yeah.
front.
And we have said before, guys, too, that I know we've hinted before in rumor that that Sam Raimi is going to take part and become the director, but then this is official confirmation that
This
he
is
is
official.
now the director.
Kevin
Yes.
Feige said it. He is the director. He has taken over for not Peyton Reed. I can't think of the guy's name that did Doctor Strange 1, which, by the way, one of
Yep.
the most underrated MCU movies. I absolutely love Doctor Strange. It was so
Mm-hmm.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, this leads to some of the rumors that we heard this past week that Alfred Molina will be reprising his role as Dr. Otto Octavius in Spider-Man 3. It's also reports
Mm-hmm.
that Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Kirsten Dunst, and Emma uh, Emma um,
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone will be returning as their characters in Spider-Man 3.
Mm-hmm.
And why not, since Spider-Man needs a lawyer, why not go to the devil of Hell's Kitchen himself? Charlie Cox is rumored to be coming back to play Matt Murdock, aka the Daredevil, in Spider-Man 3. And our good friend Boss Logic has had a freaking field day doing
Yes, he has.
artwork all week long.
It's
Just
crazy.
to kind of to recap some of the other stuff from this past week, from the Marvel kind of announcements. We did filming has wrapped on Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. That movie is
Mm-hmm.
scheduled to be released sometime in the fall. We all are also still on board to get Black Widow sometime in the spring.
Yep.
And we're expected the aforementioned Spider-Man 3 movie to go into production sometime in the next couple of months. However, another big rumor has finally been confirmed by Kevin Feige, and that is Academy Award winner Christian Bale has
That's
been
right.
officially cast to be in Thor: Love and Thunder as
Yeah.
Gore the God Butcher,
Oh
which is a
gosh.
huge character from Jason Aaron's run of
Oh.
Thor back in the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
His book is on the Skyrise, and so go back and check that out.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, huge news from
Yeah,
this
man.
past week. So we've got Blade, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy and a holiday special. We've got Captain Marvel 2. We've got Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum Mania, of course, that features a new character in the form of Kang the Conqueror.
Mm-hmm.
And JR, you mentioned before that
Mm-hmm.
Kang the Conqueror is we find out later in life
Mm-hmm.
that King the Conqueror is actually Nathaniel Richards,
Mm-hmm.
the son of
Hmm.
who?
Wait. Before you segue into this real quick, you had me at the first half. Because I'm thinking like, I'm thinking that did Kevin just just gloss over this thing? Wait, no. Oh, here we go. We go into it. Who is Nathaniel Richards, do you might ask?
He is the son
Uh-huh.
of Reed Richards,
Yes, sir. Yes,
and it is
sir.
official.
Fantastic Four is finally.
Marvel Studios, Marvel freaking Studios
Mhm.
is doing the first family. The
Yep.
Fantastic Four is coming home
Yep.
finally.
Correctly. Let me just give you guys a quick rundown of Fantastic Four in the hands of other studios, except for maybe one,
The
and
first
that's
one wasn't half bad.
it wasn't half bad. One, I love Jessica Alba. Two, it was an interesting storyline. Three, they kind of did Doctor Doom kind of semi correctly until literally the end of it. Everything else though, hot freaking garbage.
Steve, well, come on. Chris Evans is the Human Torch.
You are something else, Human Torch. I was on a hard. Let me just real quick. Everything else, though, aside from Fantastic Four 1, I'm talking about Fantastic Four 2 with Silver freaking Surfer, and then you screw that movie up because you have a freaking, this huge floating gas cloud and call that Galactus. Okay.
Now,
And then you have the horrendous portrayal of amazing young actors in Fantastic Reboot with 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 uh, uh with
Michael B. Jordan, Kate Mara.
Mara, Michael B. Jordan, and I felt so bad for them when they do that. But that all is to the wayside now because they're coming home. They're
They're
coming
coming
home
home.
the first family is coming back home and they're gonna be done right because Kevin Feige is gonna Kevin Feige. He's gonna make that primo and select because yes, we are finally getting the first family. We are finally getting a proper look at who Reed Richards is, who Susan's gonna be, who's gonna be the young hothead. I hope it is gonna be Chris Evans. I really do hope a young Chris
Now,
Evans, a young Chris Evans again.
that would be
The
hilarious.
thing,
Oh,
that'd be
come on.
amazing.
We have to. I've been saying this for years. You have to have Chris Evans come back as the Human Torch
Or make some
or
reference
make
to it. That'd be
reference to it.
amazing.
Now,
It's
it's
gonna be
been
amazing.
talked that they are definitely going to do a Secret Wars movie at some
Absolutely.
point. The
Absolutely.
Russos desperately want to do Secret Wars. And with the opening of the multiverse, we are headed towards that direction. That
Yeah.
and with King of the Conqueror being added, with now Uatu the Watcher being canon.
Mm-hmm.
Now Uatu is in the animated What Ifs, but
Yeah.
he exists.
Yeah.
Uatu in the comic book form can see all. He is the all-knowing,
Yeah.
all-seeing Watcher. So he even sees the What If universe.
Well, not only that too, but James Gunn made note of the Watchers
Yes, the Watchers. That's
when he
right.
gave Stan Lee a little cameo with Watchers, and so
Well, he
that
has
is an amazing
essentially
thing too.
said that he has come out and said that that wasn't a cameo with the Watchers, that Stan Lee is a Watcher in human form. He has come out and said that. People have been saying for years that Stan Lee was Uatu in human form, but we know now that is not the case. That it is Jeffrey Wright
Yeah.
is now officially. So, could we see a Secret Wars that at some point Chris Evans comes back as maybe Old Man Rogers and comes
Maybe.
face to face with a different universe's version of Chris Evans Human Torch? That would be freaking hilarious.
Oh, that would be
You have
amazing.
clean cut Ultra Boy Scout Chris Evans version of Captain America meeting frat boy Chris Evans with the whipped cream bikini from Teen Movie freaking version of the Human Torch.
Hey, wait. That's not even the worst part of it, or the best part of it. The best part of it too is that we keep on forgetting that because one, it's probably gonna be in like 5-6 years from now, right, guys?
Yeah.
Well, in that time frame, we're gonna get X-Men, and you know which specific X-Men I'm looking at, or what specific mutant I'm looking at? I'm looking at freaking Deadpool. Who's gonna make reference to that? I'm gonna love it so much. I'm gonna love it, dude.
They have gone into pre-production for Deadpool 3.
Yes, sir.
It has been said this much that literally the only character that will know that Wade Wilson has been in 2 separate universes is Wade Wilson. Now, Deadpool was not a part of this investors meeting, but it has been said that they are going to do a Deadpool 3. Where he's going to exist, so we don't know. There is also rumor that Deadpool could make an appearance in Spider-Man 3.
Oh my god!
Why the hell not?
Oh man.
Because God knows one of the best written books in comic books in the last 10 years has been Spider-Man Deadpool.
Yeah,
it is
it's gonna be
so
awesome.
good. I might highly recommend, by the way, Spider-Man Deadpool number 6. Go back and read it because that is where Deadpool actually acknowledges that the comic book version of Deadpool knows he's in a movie in the real world. So
no, just think of the possibility of Ryan Reynolds being in a film with Tobey Maguire.
Oh my
Andrew
God, his head will explode. His head will explode. He's gonna be...
Oh my, it's gonna be so. I just want to call back to all this crap, dude. Oh, it's like I said, guys. Like I said specifically, it feels like fan fiction. It's like
that's what this is. This whole thing was fan fiction.
It's ultimate freaking fan service, dude. And like just the possibilities are just popping off in my head. And so I feel like that we have to make maybe a little possibility of another episode, like a side episode, like we did for Black Friday, of which books to freaking buy.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely do that.
It's gonna have to be. We have to do a lot of research for that too. But like, yo, guys, like this week I'm pretty sure majority of people already have seen some news because one is internet and we record on Sundays. But still, though, the in-depth dive to all this stuff you'll hear from us, guys.
Yeah, we will definitely do a deep dive on the comic books. I've already started making notes on JR's notes about what to buy, you know, and I have some of these books already, and these are going to be books other than getting stuff like the first appearance of Fantastic Four, the first appearance of Kang the Conqueror. Those books are not impossible, but they're going to be difficult to be obtain if you're willing to spend the money.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, just for an example, guys, I just got this book back from CGC, and I know Kevin here is gonna bust out his pull list, his pull list flex as well.
Yeah, I don't have my CGC back. I'm not gonna get back until 2021.
I know, dude. It's gonna be worth it.
I can't wait, dude.
One of my books that just came back, right, is gonna be he's probably gonna be featured in the Venom universe, which also is gonna feature possibly Tom Holland, possibly even some of the other Spider-Man as well. Because come on now, once you bring them back, you got to bring them back, right? Yeah. So I got this freaking book back. Wait, let me take it out of the wrapping.
Venom. Oh, that is
Venom 3. Then the third print with Null. This is the print that you want. All right, so Venom 3 is the first appearance of Null, the Venom God, the Venom Civic God, whose current run right now is called King in Black, who is freaking amazing. For those who haven't read King in Black yet, knows nothing. There's no one to f with, basically. All right. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! The reason why I wanted to talk about this yesterday, last weekend, because of King of Black. One, Kevin, have you ever seen the picture of the Sentry? You know who the Sentry is in Marvel?
I've probably seen it and just not popping up.
Basically Marvel's Superman, the Sentry, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there's a scene there's a scene or a picture you'll see where he's in space and he tore apart Carnage
Shit.
in half. Just in the very first issue, Null remember that, and he tore apart Sentry in half. Marvel Superman, or actually probably even stronger than Superman, ripped him in half. You have no clue how strong Null is to rip apart basically Superman, or stronger than Superman. So that's just one aspect, guys. So yeah, we're gonna have to make a rundown.
We're gonna have to do either a bonus episode or a side episode of the books to get based on the Marvel Cinematic Universe and plan for these information. One of the things before we get to our flex pull and in this show, I did forget to put it on here. Kathleen Kennedy did make another huge announcement for Star Wars fans out there. She stole one of the biggest directors in the industry away from Warner Brothers, at least for one movie, and gave her, and that's the key word, her, a potentially huge movie to film. There's a video that you can see, I believe, on Disney's Facebook page and whatnot. It is a clip, a couple of minutes long, of Kathleen Kennedy, not Kathleen Kennedy. I apologize. Patty Jenkins rollerblading through a military base to her car, where she changes, and she's talking about, so poetically, about her father, a fighter pilot, who inevitably lost his life in service to his country. And ever since then, she said her one goal as a director, as a storyteller, to do is tell a story of the greatest fighter pilot, or the greatest fighter fighting whatever story, dogfighting story of all time. And she's never been able to find the right story until she was given the opportunity by Lucasfilm, by Kathleen Kennedy, to do just what she's been wanting to do. And she's not going to tell a fighter pilot story with a bunch of F-16s. She's not going to tell it with a bunch of Mustangs from World War II. She's not going to tell about using the F-22 Raptor. She's not going to do what we think she's going to do on Earth. She is going to tell the greatest fighter pilot story of all time in a galaxy far, far away. We are getting a full-length feature film directed by Academy Award nominated director Patty Jenkins. We are getting Rogue Squadron. This movie, oh my gosh, because we've seen Rogue Squadron hinted at in so many different levels of the Star Wars mythos, and I can't wait for it. You're going to give this woman who is so desperate to tell a story. So we're going to see someone coming from a military background tell a military story, but set in a galaxy far, far away. Tell us in the Star Wars canon. Oh, cannot wait! And I think I really think the Rogue Squadron probably was the franchise that saved Kathleen Kennedy's ass from getting fired, because getting Patty Jenkins away from Warner Brothers, at least for one movie, is magnificent. And if Wonder Woman 84 ends up being the success that I have a feeling it's going to be, and though I wasn't a huge Wonder Woman #1 fan, I liked it. It was good. It was not the greatest comic book movie ever made, like everyone thinks it is, but it's good. If Wonder Woman 84 outshines it, this is going to be
good.
Very good. Oh, it also should be done. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna, no, we say first, because actually it's gonna probably for what I'm gonna say is gonna kind of wrap up this whole thing.
And I also should mention too that Moon Knight also is in pre-production, and they mentioned that Oscar Isaac will be playing Unfortunately, for those of you who are waiting for Keanu Reeves to play Mark Spector, it's not going to happen. However,
Gonna be some.
he's going to be
He gonna
something.
be
He's
some.
met with Marvel. Could he be playing him? Just saying. People have rumored that he could play him, aka Adam Warlock.
You
It's a
know, I wouldn't mind.
possibility. Because remember, Adam Warlock is teased at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. But yeah, Oscar Isaac will be making his Marvel Cinematic Universe debut as Mark Spector,
Yeah.
aka
You
the
know,
Moon Knight.
yeah. You know what I wouldn't mind though? For if to kind of like, even though it's not really on brand for Keanu, you know what I wouldn't mind? Just okay, just to kind of just open your mind to this. What if instead of playing, something like a character like him, or maybe a good established character in that sense, maybe, just maybe, you might have Keanu Reeves. This is for me. This is for me. What if he plays Mephisto, the devil, a villain?
That's not where I thought you were going. I said JR is teasing me to say he's going to go as a villain. Mephisto is a lot better than where I thought you were going, because I was thinking maybe, just maybe, that you were going to think Keanu Reeves could play the greatest Marvel villain of all time,
Thinking,
Doctor Doom. But
yeah.
we do know this: Doctor Doom not going to be the villain in
Mm.
Fantastic Four.
The reason why I say Mephisto, because
I
we
know
know we
I
have,
love it.
because even though people are going like, oh, we need, we might need like maybe Galactus, maybe this thing, maybe something huge. Yeah. But Mephisto, over a long expanding series of possibly long time, and not
Have
only
him be
that,
the
but
new Thanos.
exactly, but not only that, even though I got love for Keanu, man, I do have love for Keanu. I don't want him, he's pushing 50, pushing, or in some other circles, he's probably pushing 1,000 years old because he's immortal. But still, because he's
I
so
just
much
thought of
older.
something.
Go ahead, just say it. Say it now. Say it now. Say it now.
Okay, so what did we find out at the end of Spider-Man 2?
No.
What does Peter Parker do to go when he we're gonna chase a rabbit real quick. Spoiler alert, if you've never read Civil War 1, Tony Stark makes Peter Parker Tony Stark makes Peter Parker unveil himself as Spider-Man on national TV and sign the superhero superhero act.
Fact. Yeah.
Okay. But in order to re-enter anonymity, I can never say the damn word.
Yeah. Being anonymous.
Become anonymous again. He sells his soul to Mephisto. No, what's he? He goes to Mephisto though.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Okay, so anonymity happened when some earth-shattering thing happened where they retconned everything, right? So his anonymity comes back. No, he sells his soul, or he sells something. It wasn't his soul. What happened is that Aunt May was dying. It was again Dan Slott's story. Aunt May was dying, and that he says, "Oh, just one more day." And Mephisto comes back saying, "All right, what do you want for that one more day?" He goes, "I don't know. I just want one more day." The thing that he sold was his marriage to Mary Jane.
That's what it was.
That's why. But because you brought that freaking up, right? Maybe. Okay. So this is just me going off the freaking
I could have sworn when they retconned his anonymity,
Mhm.
that it had something to do with Mephisto, that he does something to time. So who knows? Maybe Mephisto does make his debut in Spider-Man 3, and it's Keanu fucking Reeves.
So this is what I'm thinking. Man. Maybe it won't be in Spider-Man 3. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's some other type of multiverse thing, right? But because you have Ultimate Multiverse, right? That means you possibly have Mephisto come back. What if in Tom Holland's Spider-Man, his yearning to want back Iron Man, he's willing to sell something. That's a good storyline.
That's a good storyline, man. So much can be told. There's so many great stories. People have been trashing Marvel, saying that they're grasping at straws, and that they're overextending themselves. People don't realize we have decades of stories that have yet to be told.
Exactly.
One of the great regrets I wish they would have been able to do, but I understand Disney didn't want to do it, was Favreau wanted to do Demon in a Bottle so desperately, which is a great storyline for Tony Stark. And I know we never got to tell it, but the modern stories that we're getting to tell, Love and Thunder, with Jason Aaron being inspired for this entire storyline. And it makes sense that he was the one that created Gore the God Butcher, that Christian Bale is going to portray. Of course, he wrote the famous Mighty Thor run that saw Jane Foster become the Goddess of Thunder. I can't wait.
The current run of Miss Marvel, we have the current run of Hawkeye, we have the current, like, basically all of New Young Avengers, which is good. I know.
We got Kelly Thompson's Hawkeye is going to be the inspiration for that series. We have Secret Invasion, so many great storylines. Now they're even talking about that there possibly could be, not only are we going to lead towards Secret Wars, but we also could be leading towards Civil War 2.
Yeah. And we haven't even talked about Shuri yet. We haven't talked about Wakanda or anything happening Black Panther yet.
Yeah, they did say that Black Panther 2 is still in production. It will happen. It's going to happen in 2022, I believe. And it will not recast T'Challa. And what they're going to do with Black Panther 2 is, their words, they are going to explore the grand expanse of Wakanda. So we're going to see a Wakandan story. So in this Ryan Coogler
as they should
story. So we'll end on that, guys. There's so much. Go ahead, sir.
I was gonna say too, actually, with this whole thing kind of wrapped up, which part of it, even though it's hard to choose, I know for me it's hard to choose too. Which part of it do you like the most?
Check out your stuff. The Fantastic Four, I never saw coming. I never saw that coming. I was super shocked by that. Rogue Squadron was a very unique story, and how they debuted it was really unique. I do like all the stuff that they have coming to Disney. I'm really intrigued with them still wanting to go after the Big Hero 6 franchise. It's going to be fun. It's a lot of fan service with Disney. But the stuff that they've got coming from Lucasfilms, the stuff that they have got coming from Marvel is fantastic. I screamed like a little girl. I screamed like a little girl when they announced Ironheart, because I've had so much fun collecting her books. I've had so much fun reading her stories in Champions, in Ironheart, in Invincible Iron Man, both volumes 2 and 3. That was really surprising. But this one right here, this was a shocker. I didn't think they were ready to announce that. John Watt directing. I can't wait. What if? I mean, just what ifs.
And please let us have John Krasinski and Emily Blunt as the first couple, please.
But here's the thing.
Please.
Okay, this is interesting how they're going to do King the Conqueror. For those who don't know Jonathan Majors is an African-American actor. However, his race doesn't need to be known. King the Conqueror goes around running through space and time with like a purple head or like a bluish head. You can't tell his race by the way Kang looks. That doesn't mean that we won't learn his parentage in the form of being a Richards. So people are going like, okay, this guarantees that Reed Richards is going to be black, that Sue Storm or Reed Richards is going to be black. We don't know that. We don't know how they're going to dress King the Conqueror. We don't know if they just hired a damn good actor in the form of Jonathan Majors, who just happens to be African American.
Yeah.
Or are they going to make Sue and Reed Richards black? We don't know. We don't know. I honestly, just real quick.
Yeah.
I want them to stay true to the original form of the Fantastic Four. And I just hope that Jonathan Majors, though I hope his portrayal of an iconic and very important and dynamic villain to the Marvel Universe comes across great. And I think he will do a fantastic job. Yeah. I just wish that race had nothing to do with this. So
Yeah, doing a little bit more research, actually, King the Conqueror is a descendant of Reed Richards, so he could possibly be.
It
Yeah,
could be,
there would.
yeah.
Yeah, he could be. Yeah, definitely. That's absolutely the truth. And I just for you, possibly this is the fan in me speaking. One, being a big fan of John Krasinski and Emily Blunt, and knowing that they're a couple and have amazing freaking chemistry together, that already like that's
And they look the part.
absolutely freaking Lily, man. Just
Yeah.
specifically John with his freaking beard now, especially with his beard now, and in comparison to like Reed Richards now with his beard in the comic run, right?
Yeah.
But overall, that was amazing. Yeah,
And
and
it's gonna be a tough character to play, because you have to understand too that Reed Richards is the most intelligent person in the Marvel universe.
yes,
People will always tell you that Reed Richards is number one. Number two is kind of up there, and people will argue that it's Tony Stark. Some people will say that it's Shuri. Some will say that it actually is
Amadeus Cho.
Amadeus Cho. Could be Lunella.
Yeah,
Which is Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Some
that's
will
right.
say that it's Riri Williams. Some there's a lot of kind of hard.
Yeah,
Bruce Banner is in the argument, but that Reed
yeah,
Richards has always been the number one. Reed Richards
yeah,
is by far the brains of the operation when it comes to the Marvel universe. But
yeah.
again, that's something we can get to. Speaking of comic books, we're going to do that comic book issue that that JR mentioned.
Yeah.
Got a little Mighty Morphin Rangers here.
I will say too, though, just put out my favorite thing on the whole con too, with the whole day too. Actually, for me, it comes from a place of like, oh my gosh, it's my childhood. Alfred Molina come back as
Oh,
Don.
yeah.
I love that, because to me, I think for me, the best villain per se was Doc Ock for me.
Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2 is probably
He
the best
was
portrayal.
so
Perfect.
good,
It was perfect. He was
so
ripped.
good.
He was ripped from the pages.
He like his motivations were great, and everything about the character was so great. So I'm hoping they expand on that, and I just want to see what happens when they do so. That is my favorite cover of the week, by the way.
Inyuk,
Inyuk Lee, Inyuk
Young
Lee.
Lee, fantastic artist. I love his work.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, some of his really good stuff is getting stuck behind the paywall of high grade retail variants and stuff like that. But that's
yeah.
just a credit to
How he is, which is
how
good.
he is. Your Man Crush, little Man Crush
Mhm.
Monday, when this drops, hopefully, is Donny Cates, issue number 2
Yo,
of Crossover.
crossover is out. So yeah, man, it's good. It's a
Is
good
that an
read.
Adam Hughes cover?
No.
It has a very Adam Hughes.
That's Stegman, I think. I think that's Stegman.
Now
No.
this one, I mean,
As he remembers that, guys, I apologize for my room right now. Even though it's been a mess for a very, oh my gosh, yes, Peach Momoko. Even though my room is a horrendous mess right now, I'm actually in the process of cleaning, painting, ripping out some stuff, putting a new bench.
so many covers by her came out this past week, and this is by far one of the best covers of the week. One of the best covers she's done.
Yeah.
Just the every week JR's Woman Crush is on this artist is coming through, and
she's making claim to being possibly one of the best artists to come out of the 2020 cycle.
I scored a 2-for-1.
What do you do? Oh, nice. That's right. Came up with that.
But my 2-for-1.
What the heck?
I got the black and white sketch.
Wait. Did they give? Oh, okay.
This is a 1 in 30 black and white retail variant. I was hemming and hawing about wanting to buy the Vampirella. I like Vampirella. I think it's an interesting character. I'm growing on the Peach Momoko artwork. And I had to have it, and I actually like the black and white variant better in a lot of cases. But Chick made me a deal that she would throw in the color version as an added bonus. So you
want to see my stuff?
Of course, you probably spent more money than I did.
Oh no, I probably did, but then it's just more so I got my CGCs back this week, right?
There you go.
So
I paid for mine.
Yeah, I know. This one hurt though. This first one hurt a lot. 9-4, Black Panther, T'Challa.
Oh, that one's rising up the ranks, bro.
Dude.
Of course, it pays homage to the 99 Problems album by Jay-Z.
That promise of being a 9.4 is mine. Is one. Another Nas.
Another hip hop variant.
9.6. These are gonna go at. I'm gonna sell these ones. I'm gonna sell these babies. Now, that was my lowest one. Of course, you guys just saw my first null come out 9.8. First null. I think the last one sold was like 510, 550.
I'm trying to find the hip hop variant thread on.
There you go. Something's Killing Children. I don't know. This is a homage to Something Killing Children. Department of Truth.
I was gonna say that is.
Yeah,
that's
1 for 100 variant. Yeah, it's because it's the same art. It's the same artist.
Same artist.
Yeah. And my last one, I got another one of these babies in, man. Venom 3 again, the white variant.
Oh my gosh! How many of those do you have?
Total of 9 total of 3. I think I got 7, and 5 of them are the first print, and 2 of them are the second print. I thought I had 3. I did have 3. I gave one to my sister because I thought she didn't have any, but from what comes to find out, she has 2. So there we have it.
I know. I wish. Oh, here you go. Hip hop variants. The Black Panther 99 Problems Jay-Z cover is arguably one of the most sought after one. I got super lucky. Another one that's going up there is the Education of Kamala Khan.
Yeah, I have that one too.
That one's $30 high grade.
Mm-hmm. The Riri Williams one should be up too, because I think that's an homage to, I think who was homage to? Lauryn Hill, maybe. I think it was either Lauryn Hill or
that's Kamala Khan's.
Okay. I think the Missy Elliott one.
I'm trying to find the Black Panther one, which I got. Like I said, I got super lucky to get my hands on it. Mm-hmm. But it was one of the last ones that they came out when they did the hip hop variants. God dang, where is it at on this list? The thing is, all the hip hop variants. Okay, your Miles Morales hip hop variant, cover inspired by Illmatic by Nas. High grade, $130.
Yeah, the 9.8s are going for like $500 right now. I got a 9.4 was going for $300.
Black Panther high grade going for $50. Of course, it's inspired by the Black album by Jay-Z. Apologize.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of them in here that are going for some big bucks.
And also for the fans who know, the reason why I got this background, Lakers. If you know, you know. The NBA, the NBA season's about to start. On the 22nd, we had preseason games already starting. So I got my Lakers, my guys.
I got the Doctor Strange one.
I got that one too. Yeah, the freaking the Chronic.
Chronic, yeah. There's so many good. Check it out on Key Collector. Download the app. Go to Hip Hop Variants under the category and check out that. It was a great little run that Marvel did back in 2015, 2016. So check it out. But
Hey Kevin.
Yes, sir.
How do you feel about doing a podcast as in Star Wars, as we've been doing Star Wars the last like 6 weeks?
Well, we have
even though technically we did a Star Wars podcast still, but
we did still do a Star Wars podcast where a good chunk of it was about the Star Wars stuff coming from the Disney investor meeting. But we will have the Star Wars saga return with Return of the Jedi next week after this episode drops. Don't forget to go back and listen to our podcast about Empire Strikes Back from last week. And of course, prior to that was A New Hope, Rogue One, Solo, and of course the prequel trilogy coming up. After Return of the Jedi, we have Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker. And then, of course, we will go back and kind of cover The Mandalorian seasons 1 and season 2.
Yes, sir. And
then I don't know if we're going to, we might still do it straight through and cover the Clone Wars and Rebels and whatnot. But two, we have more animated features or animated movie or shows coming to the Star Wars genre. We have Bad Batch will also be coming to Disney Plus, but we could get all of that when we get to the Clone Wars. So he is JR at also not JR Comics 42 on Instagram.
And he is
the voice of reason 20. Yes, sir. Telling you guys, be kind, wear your damn masks. Let's get through this shit. And guys, look at we have all this stuff to watch on Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus and HBO Max and
Stay home.
Peacock. Stay freaking home if you don't have to be at home.
Yeah.
Just if you don't have to be at work, just stay at home, bro.
Yeah, go home and go to work, be with your family, and just watch all this new Disney content that's gonna come out in the next
Dude, just
2-3
watch
years.
Mandalorian like JR's not, dude. And enjoy seasons 1 and season 2. Season
I'm
2
gonna
is
go
phenomenal.
just drop kick you right now,
Dude, freaking season 2, bro. Season
I,
motherfucking 2.
I might just bite the bullet and just do it right tonight, dude. The next couple of days, because I love me some Ahsoka Tano, and Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano. I'm like, yes, I did not know I need that in my life, and I do.
I will
So,
say that go back and listen to our Empire Strikes Back episode, and you can hear JR not speak English at the end of our podcast. It was great. It's worth listening to all the way to the end. He hits his punch. He hits the punch drunk level, and he was tapped. So, all right, guys, have a great week. We will see you next week with Return of the Jedi and the end to the original trilogy. And guys, enjoy all this. And there is a collector's collector's episode coming up in the near future based on all the information we learned this past week with the investor meeting. All right, guys.
Started this week, guys. Yeah. So,
in other words, in our famous sign-off words, peace.
Hey, guys.